Welcome in, everybody. I'm Jacob Greenberg alongside,
McVeigh Butler III.
and we are here at Sahuaro High School this fine evening for a matchup between the Cienega Bobcats at the Sahuaro Cougars. 545 North Camino Seco Road is where we are at right now, and this is a rivalry game. Okay, Cienega is 12-1 in the last 13 years against this team, so they've been riding the hot streak here in this rivalry, and they're looking to go put 13 wins here tonight.
Yeah, I would have to say that this is not going to be that much of a competitive game, but if it's a 12-1, it's not supposed to be that competitive, but we'll see the outcome.
So we're about 4 minutes till game time. Sahuaro is 3-3. They dropped their first three, and they are winners of their past three games against Desert View, 20-0, Choya, 42-35, and Buena, 31-21. They lost their first three games in the home opener against Sabino, 41-13. They lost at Queen Creek, 13-6, and they lost against Marana, 35-7. So they're going to be looking here to get past that 500 mark against the Cienega Bobcats.
And the most impressive part to me is Queen Creek. They're a pretty decent school, pretty competitive. I'm surprised to hear a score that close.
Well, head coaches, we know Pat Nugent on the Cienega side. He is in his third year. Had that roller coaster first year. We know what he did last year, taking the team to the semifinals in the undefeated regular season. And now in this season, he's undefeated in the regular season, looking to do that again. For the Cougars, they have Coach Scott McKee in his ninth year as Sahuaro head coach. He had losing seasons in 2009, 2010, 2015, and 2016. Last year he went 3-7, but he had winning seasons in 2011, 2012, 2013, and 2014 was his best season as a head coach, going 9-2.
Yeah, I'd have to say that pretty decent numbers from him. It's a little bit of an overconfident game. It seems like for Cienega, looking at the outcomes in the past games, statistically looking, Cienega has prepared and they've defeated a lot of hard teams that are viewed as top contenders for playoffs spots. So this is going to be a tough game for Sahuaro, but I think they can fight through it and have a good game.
So we are here in the broadcast booth on the Sahuaro side of the field, and not much of a show-up.
No, not much of a show-up at all. And you know what? Honestly, I just think that, it's break right now for most of us, and I just think that, not everybody feels like coming out here. But, on the Cienega side, there's a lot of support, and I think it's just due to the amazing football program that Cienega has.
So we know that the Sahuaro Cougars had school today. So does that play any effect into being a player, that you have to go through that school day and then come here and play a football game?
You know what? I think it's a little bit more of a sided game for Sahuaro because everybody's used to going through school and then playing a game. And I think that, Sahuaro has that edge, but I don't think it's enough to overpower Cienega in any shape, way, or manner.
So when the Cougars go to the playoffs, since 2004 they are 0-5. So that first game they played, they haven't won. How do you think that plays into a program that you lose every time you get to the playoffs?
Well, I think it just goes into frustration, and it's not a point for the players as much as I'd have to say it's a point for the coaches because sometimes they've shown that they haven't even made the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
So it just goes into the coaching staff. The coaching staff has a fatigue in their mind of just seeing their team lose every single time. And every time they try and make an adjustment, it's without veil. So, it's more so of a mental note for the coaches, not so much the players.
So we are about a minute till game time as the Bobcats are taking the field. And they're getting ready here.
I just like how the music just starts to roar. Kind of
Yes.
nice to see that. And earlier today we were seeing a pretty nice view. What do you have to say, Jacob?
Oh, very nice view in the background. It's kind of got dark now, but mountains and trees. It was very nice.
It was very nice. And thinking back, this school is at least 40 years old. And that's pretty nice to see that, it seemed like the structure of the field was put into shape with, the environment and looking how beautiful the background is.
So, captains for the Bobcats.
Ladies and gentlemen, we ask
Terrell Huggins, Dylan Hoots. And here's the national anthem.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the Rockies' red glare above bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, give it a hand. Congressman Martin McSally, Arizona 2nd Congressional District. I'd like to thank you.
So the Cougars against the Bobcats, ladies and gentlemen, tonight. And we have the rivalry matchup as these teams will come out of their, what would you call that?
What would I call that?
Come out of the,
I wouldn't call it anything but just pure tenacity and just hustle. That's all they're trying to do. They're not trying to be flashy. They're just trying to rile themselves up. That's all. The only purpose. On the other side, though, you see a kind of a sheet, and it's more so for the use of ripping out and saying, we're here. That's the use of the sheet.
so it was great to see an actual person sing the national anthem there instead of the recording that we usually see.
You know what? It's always amazing to see somebody sing the national anthem, and it's better than a recording because it's a legitimate person, and you can just feel the raw voice.
So the Cougars break out of their shell here and running across the field with the SHS flags as we are approaching game time and the captains meet on the field. And captains for the Cougars is number 3, Jesus Carrillo, the senior. Number 52, Zach Kinsey. Number 38, Landon Grant. And number 11, Kobe Bell. So 12-1 is what Cienega is against this Cougar team. The one time that the Cougars won was in 2015 by a score of 14-10. And we know in 15 they had a losing season, so that goes into that rivalry thing. We remember when the Bears beat the Packers last season. Rivalry, even if the team doesn't have as much talent, it's a rivalry. And sometimes you can see that under-talented team come on top.
Well, you know what? A lot of the times, teams in this situation are underdogs, but Sahuaro, it just comes down in the end to grit. Sometimes pure effort and tenacity will beat out skill. And, I think that Sahuaro has that. Not very recognized as a school in a football program, but I feel like those are the kind of schools that eventually come out of that shell and become huge, huge football programs that lead the way for the entire state and possibly for the entire country.
So we go to the Cougars and what they do as a ball club, and they like to rush the ball. Okay, they average about 19 yards a game passing and about 4 attempts passing a game. They've only thrown the ball 24 times all season, 6 games, 24 divided by 6, that's 4.
Yes, and I would have to say so. Their number one rushing athlete would have to be Amon Ra, their senior. And he is absolutely amazing with the ball running, and you can tell he's their key contributor to gaining yards and even scoring. And that's where his part for the team comes in, and that's a huge part, and that's a huge role that he'll have to play.
Yeah, as the running back on this team, he's definitely the star of that offense. Okay, he has 57 carries for 472 yards and 8.3 averaging a carry, and that's big for a running back to get 8.3 yards a carry.
Technically, if you want to do some math, 10 minus 8, that's 2.
Right.
So they're per possession, they'd only have to get 2 yards. So basically, if they chose to run the ball immediately on the first try, they would only have to gain about 2 yards on average from their second play. That's pretty amazing to see that from a running back. But I don't know, against this amazing defensive line, it'll be a hard struggle to get that through.
So kickoff is ready, and Cienega will receive the ball first. And it is Rodney Rogers out from the 5-yard line, cutting around the corner, and he will get to about the 20-yard line before he's taken down by a gang of Cougars.
Man, that looked like a mosh pit right there. Quavo.
Kickoff return by number 23, Rodney.
So here's Jamari Joyner and that explosive Cienega offense as they take the field. So going back to last week in that that crazy win against Sal Point, 30-20, the offensive line had lots of troubles for Cienega. The run game wasn't really working because of the offensive line. Jamari Joyner got sacked a few times. He got hurried a lot. So they have to do better this time because if they want that run game to work, the offensive lineman has to do a better job tonight.
Yes, they do. And you know what? Protecting Jamari is a huge part of the offensive line's job, if not the biggest part, because that is a star athlete right there. And, you know, if a 200-pound guy is running at him and hitting him with a force of 40 miles per hour, that can really hurt him. And that is seen in pro sports all the time. At the college level and at the pro level, high school football is no different.
So it looks like a 10-yard penalty was given to the Bobcats on the kickoff. I couldn't see what that was, but we have Jamari Joyner getting ready to start this first play off for the Bobcats here in Tucson. Quick slant pass to Terrell Hayward, who breaks the tackle, and he's on his way using his speed, and he's on the sideline. One defender to beat, but gets pushed out of bounds by number 2, Gadi Amin-Ra. Was that number 2?
That was number 2. And you know what the sad part to see right there is that the entire team for Cienega was unfazed by that play. They looked unexcited. When they're facing other teams, it seems like they were more excited. With this one, they just seem like they expect this.
Great first statement play there. Rodney Rogers in motion. Gets the handoff from Joyner, cuts through the middle, and he has room also into the secondary. Gets past the 30-yard line, and 2 plays in, they started back from their 10-yard line. Now they're inside their own 30, ready to get into that red zone.
And that's where Sahuaro is flying at, because you're giving them, in 2 plays, they have already gotten in their red zone.
Joyner looking to pass, rolls to his right, and it is incomplete. Intended receiver Terrell Hayward, and that will bring up 2nd and 10.
And you can already see this crowd is a little bit wavered by these last 2 plays.
The statues?
The statues. The Cienega effect is living on. And it's one thing to be on the other side looking at it. It's another thing to be a part of it. And just looking here, you can just see the stiffness, the stillness that each fan has for the players and the outcome that they're already seeing.
Joyner on the run past the first line for 18 yards. And we see them use that play a lot with the man in motion, fake handoff, Jamari up the joiner because he's got a lot of speed. He's got good size to him. And high snap here. Joyner with his athletic ability will keep it and around the side and just inside the 5-yard line.
And you know what? Me and Mr. Miller were talking. This field, I mean, they've been around for about 40 years plus, this Sahuaro team. And the school in general is quite aged. And the field is quite narrow, if you've noticed. So it's a little bit of a hazardous to have players get tackled out of bounds because there's only about 5 feet of space.
And there is Thomas Webb on the touchdown run for the 1-yard touchdown run. We saw that in this last week against South Point. He had a 1-yard touchdown run. He made such an impact last week against South Point. On offense, he had a touchdown, and on defense, he had so many solo tackles. We saw him in gang tackles. He was everywhere on the defensive side of the ball, and he's a great player for Pat Nugent and the Bobcats.
No, he definitely is. And you know what? Honestly, Cienega has too many athletes to point one as their, non-athletic person because each of them has their own athletic abilities that make them and make this team better and make it a star program.
So there was P.J. Coco on for the extra point. Goes through 7-0. P.J. Coco is in backup for Ezra Figueroa, who is here tonight. But he had a little bit of a trip to Mexico, which has put him in that second slot now.
It has. And you know what? Family, when family calls, you always have to answer that call, but you risk your own position. And it sucks to be Ezra in that situation, being as great of a kicker as he is. But, sometimes, family comes first, and, coaches sometimes might not see that.
So it takes 4 plays for the Bobcats to get in the end zone here on their first drive, and now they will bring out their kicking team, P.J. Coco, here for the kickoff.
And Coco, haven't seen very much of him. Have you?
What do you mean?
We haven't seen that much of Coco.
He's been in the last 2 games.
Yeah,
As starting
not
kicker.
very consistent. And this is where Sahuaro needs to answer back. Not bad field position, but at the same time, it took them only 4 plays to get a touchdown. That's scary, and that's phasing. It's going to phase the fans, it's going to phase the coaches, and it's going to phase the players. And they need to get a touchdown on this play because if they give the ball back and the same effect happens, it has to be a kind of a tug of war between the two for Sahuaro to survive.
So the Cougars will start their first drive out on offense from the 33-yard line, and we should be seeing number 11, Kobe Bell, out there for quarterback. But we can call him Mr. Handoff Man because what does he do? He hands the ball off. We don't really see him throw that much.
And this team only gets 19.0 yards per game, right?
Yes.
Off the throw play?
It's about 19 yards.
That is abysmal. Absolutely terrible, especially for a quarterback to only be able to give his team 19 yards per game. That relies heavily on the run game, and that is why they have an abysmal record right now.
So better field position for the Cougars now on the flag from Zach Mattis. It will take them to the 38-yard line. And Kobe Bell is out there for quarterback for the Cougars. And a pitch to number 2. And he gets into the secondary with some space, and he's still going before he is tackled out of bounds. So right away, there we see him. I thought maybe he wouldn't do as good against the Cienega defense, but on that first play, he does what the stats show.
Yeah, and you know what? As a running back that carries a team, you have to do that in any situation. And I think speed is a skill of its own. It's a talent. And, when you have that type of talent, it takes even greater talent to stop your own. So I think right there he's a talented player, and it'll be very hard for them to stop them.
So a flag before the play starts. And looks like the Cougars are backing up. Never mind. Flag on the Bobcats. So that's 2 early flags for them. That's not good. 3 minutes into the game. No, not 3 minutes. 6 minutes into the game.
6 minutes into the game. And you know what? That is very, very bad because it shows that they can get into their head. And these flags, usually in football, flags come from pure plays on the field with mental. It's mental attacking. They're attacking them mentally and getting in their head, causing them to jump and, get all these false starts.
On 1st and 5, we see a throw from Bell, and looks like it's complete to number 12, Amir Hunter Huggins. So there's throw 1. We should be counting 4 tonight. Or maybe they might try and utilize that passing against this Bobcats defense. They got a great front, but they also got a great secondary. They have Dylan Hoos, Terrell Hayward, Rodney Rogers in that secondary, and it's a dangerous secondary.
Yes, it is. And you know what the funny thing about Sahuaro is that they can honestly not have people looking at their throwing game as a weakness against their own opponent. They think that they're going to rely on their run game, and that is where, it's possible that the quarterback can, help them get those yards and surprise them. And it looks like right there he gained at least about 8 yards on that throw. So that's a pretty good play from a quarterback. We only see 19 yards per game.
Minimal gain there for the run of Travion White Austin, as it will bring up 3rd and 1.
And in this 3rd and 1 play, Cienega is adapt to stopping the play as quick as possible. And if they can stop it, they're going to have to punt it.
Number 30 in motion, and a handoff goes to number 3, and it looks like he gets the first down. So it's Jesus Carrillo, the senior, on the run, and he will be spotted at the 25-yard line, which will give them a first down.
Bobcat 25-yard line.
So the offense is working here in this first drive for the Cougars.
And I'm noticing a late pickup in fans in this crowd here. It's went from maybe 30 to 70.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good to
How
see
about you
that
give
fan
the
support.
How about you give the number on the Cienega side?
I would have to say that has to be over 100 for sure.
Oh, yeah,
no doubt in my mind.
Over-
Possibly near the 200.
Over 200.
Yeah, even over 200.
Okay, here's Bell inside the pocket and will throw downfield, and it is intercepted by Thomas Webb. And there he is on defense again with another play for the Bobcats.
Cienega effect's going to be creeping. It's going to be creeping up on these fans. They ain't going to see it coming, but once it hits, it's over.
So what a start there for Thomas Webb Jr. Gets the 1-yard touchdown run. Now he has he stopped the Cougars. Their offense was working. They were going downfield, and he intercepts the ball as they will start from the 10-yard line.
But honestly,
8-yard line.
you have to believe that Sahuaro is a little bit unpredictable with that play, trusting in the fact that they can throw the ball to their to a wide receiver that's at least 15 yards away. That's pretty big because it shows their the possibility that they have a throw game that they're not showing.
So Owens with little to no gain on the play, and that's probably why we see the quarterback with 19 yards a game and about four throws a game, because that was just a bad pass.
It was just a bad pass, but at the same time, I think that is something that can be improved on. But there's quarterbacks out there that with no distance, but amazing close game. And I think if he can develop that, he'll be a great quarterback.
Here is Joyner in the pocket, steps up, throws down the middle, intended for Terrell Hayward, and he still catches it over 2 defenders. And now, wow, what a play.
That was an amazing play right there. You can see a little bit of aggressiveness right there to bring him down. You can already see the frustration and kind of a little bit of taunting right there by Hayward.
Yeah, and it wasn't a real good throw by Jamari Joyner, because it made Terrell Hayward stop to catch the ball, which should have gave time for the defender to either deflect the ball or do something with the ball.
But you know what? Honestly, some people don't realize that when you have that helmet on, there's a limited amount of sight that you have. And, to stop the play is the most important part for a defensive end. And right there, he just couldn't do it.
So here is Joyner with 2 in the backfield and Hayward in motion. Hayward will get it and sweep to the left side and out of bounds for no.
That is about a gain of 4, I would say, right there off of the swindle right there that he pulled on him.
And you could just see the Cougar defense just like stop moving. So maybe they thought he was going out of bounds, and that's
honestly right there. That's just a bad play for Sahuaro, because the ref is gonna communicate to you that it's done and it's over. He's out of bounds. Right there, no communication, and right there they just gave up from 0 yards to 4 yards. That's unacceptable for a defensive team.
So 2nd and 7. Bobcats on Sahuaro's 42-yard line. And we've seen this on almost every play here tonight for the Bobcats. 2 players in the backfield. Looks like Eli Galvan and Thomas Webb here on this play. Handoff to Thomas Webb. And he gets into space and into the secondary. And he will truck and will not get caught. In for a 2nd touchdown. 2 touchdowns, interception. What a start here for Thomas Webb.
And Thomas Webb, in his freshman year, was a quarterback. Sophomore year, he played a little bit, but then got moved up. People don't understand that Thomas is a born athlete. He knows how to muscle his way to a touchdown. And right there, you can just see the aggressiveness that he has right there to get that touchdown.
What was it like being a teammate with Thomas Webb? Weren't you teammates with him freshman year?
I was teammates with him. Not much conversation between me and Thomas, but he's a real cool guy.
Yeah.
Great personality. A lot of the guys on the football team always had a great personality.
Yeah. So PJ Coco adds on that extra point, and it will extend the Bobcat lead to 14-0.
Yep.
So Cienega
So what's the best way to chill out after a game? Why, it's a polar
on their
plunge.
second drive, they're 2 for 2, 2 touchdowns,
Cool price. You buy one, you get one free. Any size.
and the Cougars will be looking to get something going here with their offense.
Cougar football program.
So 5:42 is the time on the clock in this first quarter, highlighted by 2 running touchdowns for Thomas Webb Jr. and the interception from Thomas Webb.
And this is where, if Sahuaro doesn't answer, the first and the second are done, because they've shown that they're inadequate to handle the offensive power and defensive strength that Cienega has, and that will ultimately be their downfall. You need to score quick, immediately. Use your run game. If you do not have a successful and, perfect, throw game that can complement your run game, don't use it, because all you're doing right now is costing the team, and the quarterback himself should be able to make that call.
Good return there from Travion White-Austin, as he will bring himself and his offense out to the 38-yard line.
1st and 10. Cougars from their 38-yard line.
And, I still believe that Sahuaro has a chance to get back in this game with a touchdown here.
Oh, definitely.
If they can score, they're still in it. I mean, we still have a lot of quarters to play, but most of the time teams give up when a dominant first half comes out of a team. And that's how Cienega dominates weaker teams, is they try to score fast in the first 2 and let their second strings, third strings, and even fourth strings have the rest of the game, and they're able to handle them off.
1 yard gain.
White-Austin there on the run for a 1-yard gain,
Down 9.
which will bring up 2nd and 9 for Kobe Bell and his offense. Amin Ra in the backfield. One receiver
This
to
is
each
the play
side
for-
of Bell.
Up.
Bell will take it himself after pressure, flushes into the pocket, and will throw an incomplete pass intended for
and you can tell they have a most likely not a real quarterback playing that role. He doesn't have an arm on him. You can definitely tell, and he doesn't have the accuracy a quarterback needs to have. So it comes down to in the game of quarterbacks, it's always about who has the skills. In this situation, they didn't have anybody, so you can tell they just moved somebody to that position that could throw the best at the time.
Yeah, no offense to Kobe Bell, but just looking at him, he doesn't have the physical aspects of a quarterback. Not like Jamari Joyner.
But Jamari is just a freak athlete who can do almost anything. Run, throw, even catch. I've seen him catch some crazy one-handers looking like Odell out there.
And here on the screen pass, and immediately taken down by Dylan Hoos there.
You can already see the frustration on this side right here. You can just look and see how Cienega's dominating the game, and it's just making them look terrible because they can't handle the physicality that Cienega plays with. Right now they play to kill. They have a goal in mind that they are reaching for. Sahuaro does not have a goal in mind at all, and you can definitely see that with their attitude right now.
So that defensive stop for the Bobcats will make the Cougars punt, and it is Jesus Carrillo on the punts, and they have him here on the roster as a kicker, a punter, and a safety, playing 3 possessions for this Cougar team.
I would honestly have to say that there is a humongous possibility that there is a sack on a punt for sure. No doubt in my mind. The amount of rushing power that Cienega has can overwhelm the special teams.
So that kick goes out of bounds, and the side judge says it went out of bounds at the 32-yard line, where the Bobcats will start their 3rd drive. And Joyner is back out there with Devin Garrett, who will be in the backfield with Joyner.
And in NFL and even in college sports, a 30-yard, a ball placed at the 30 is absolutely terrible.
And Joyner on the keeper will get past the first down. And we see him, he doesn't really attack the edges. If he gets pressure, he'll attack the edge. But when the play is Jamari Joyner run the ball from Pat Nugent, he goes up the middle. And it looks like the defense has failed to collapse on him.
And, collapsing is a mental thing. You never know when it's coming. Remember, football is an unpredictable sport with swindles and plays made to fake you out. So it's more of a mental thing. That's the mental side of football, and not a lot of people have it.
Joyner in the pocket, steps up and throws. And there's a flag there. It will be pass interference from Terrell Huggins. You just can't do that. He was holding the defender back. That's an offensive pass interference.
And you know what? In that situation, you got to blame that one on Jamari because, you're giving a bad pass. You're expecting it to be a good one. And, you're making a flag be called because you could not make a good pass. It is honestly better to overthrow the ball than it is to underthrow because you give the opportunity for the defender to pick it off.
And honestly, I think it was a good penalty from Terrell Huggins because that ball could have easily got intercepted.
Yes, it could.
Not easily, but...
Oh, no, easily it could have been. Just because, defensive ends are trained to, intercept. That's their main job is to intercept, defend, and make sure that they don't get downfield. And right there you could just see that, the defender was going to have it, and Terrell stopped it. That was a good play by Terrell.
So a timeout for one of the teams. I couldn't tell who. With 2:55 remaining in the first, the Bobcats, the guest here tonight, are up 14-0.
And, the Cienega effect can be so brutal just because you look at the people in the stands and they look lifeless. And this is the first time I think I've ever seen them have a little bit of life in them, but they're on their phones instead of being lifeless and just in doubt and just, they seem like they're very good fans. You can tell the support that Sahuaro has is, pretty infectious on everybody.
Well, yeah, and the past 2 seasons it hasn't been good seasons for these fans. Both losing seasons, no playoffs, and it's not good for you as a fan in high school football when your team plays 10 games and they won't see another game.
You know, in that situation, it comes down to the coaching staff to make the proper fixing, because there's always athletes out there that can do the job. But if, sometimes coaches don't realize the fact that you have to nurture athletes, train them, teach them how to be dominant at that level. If you as a coach cannot coach, you have no reason to coach at all. And, right here, you've seen since these past couple of years, they have the capability to coach, but they're just not doing it.
High snap to Joyner. Joyner flushed out of the pocket from some pressure, and we'll get a minimal gain there.
About the 33-yard line.
And, I'm predicting right here a long throw to possibly Terrell or Gio.
So it's 3rd and 22. So Pat Nugent brings that extra receiver in Terrell Huggins.
Oh, this looks like a play action.
3rd down, 22.
Garrett in the backfield. Snap to Joyner. Joyner looking to throw. Plenty of time from the offensive line. And will run out of the pocket and get a gain there. That was a great job by the offensive line. They gave him plenty of time to throw. The receivers there need to get open in that scenario.
I think a lot of the time when you get into that position and, Joyner, sometimes when it's too close to an interception, quarterback can get a little bit rattled. But, at this point in time, Joyner needs to make a good call and make a great pass to a great receiver. In my opinion, they should go to the outside and lead all of them downfield for at least about 20 yards to get a nice little gainage right there.
And that is the injured David Paquette, number 33 there on the play, the linebacker.
EG's, Arizona Pest Control, Larry H. Miller Chrysler Jeep, Scott Lehman's Premier Auto Center.
And you can tell with the tackles on Jamari, you can tell the aggressiveness and the frustration that they have with how the ferocity that they tackle him with is shown. And you can definitely see it. It's very visible.
Is much appreciated. Thank you.
It's very nice out here tonight.
It is. It's it's 81 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's a little bit of wind. It's nice. It's cool. Compared to our daytime where we have 90-degree weather. But once we hit that midway of October, it'll get nicer.
And where did you get your forecasting from?
Where did I get my forecasting from? I got it from my phone.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So Joyner in offensive mode on 4th down, on 4th and 14, will pass to Stephen Harshman.
And right there, that is.
He gets the 1st down on 4th and 14.
Oh dear. Up number 3. Number 3 is down right now. That would be Jay Carrillo. Carrillo.
Jesus.
And
Jesus Credit.
yeah, Mr. Carrillo got injured on that play, and you can definitely see it. He was in a lot of pain right there, but he toughed it out. I think that's where the frustration will come in, because they are getting hurt pretty consistently, and I think that they're going to take their frustrations out on the Cienega line and the players.
So a timeout is called from the Bobcats, and for the Bobcats offensively, they have to fix those center problems that we've seen here early tonight. A lot of high snaps, a lot of low snaps, a lot of to-the-side snaps that Joyner has to fix the play up and just go into motion and run it to the side. So the center, I don't know who it is, needs to fix these things now before playoff time.
Yeah, I'd have to say that, snapping is a big part of it, and those kind of plays can win games and lose them. A lot of the times bad snaps closer to your own end zone can lead to safeties, which involve 2 points, plus they get the ball, so it's another chance for another 7 or 6, whatever you want to call it. But snapping is an art form, and it has to be mastered. They have decent snappers. I think it's more so of a little bit of an error by the snapper. Maybe gloves aren't working right or something, but I'm pretty positive they're going to fix it within these next plays. The coaches will tell them.
So on 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line, Joyner in motion, and intended receiver Harshman, but it just tips off his fingers. So that will bring up 2nd and 10 from the 41.
Incomplete pass will be 2nd and 10 Bobcats from the 41.
So 1:25 remaining in the first. And Joyner hands it off to Garrett. Garrett up the middle with his speed. And we'll get past the 35-yard line.
Run by the Bobcats over 25.
Which will bring up 3rd and 5.
The 35-yard line. 3rd down, 5.
So clock rolling to 1 minute here left in the first quarter. And the Bobcats are going in that same formation a lot. 2 receivers to the right, 1 person in the backfield. And here's the screen pass to Hayward, who trips up on himself but gets back up. And we'll make it a positive gain.
Number 7, Terrell Hayward, just short of the first down.
Just short of the first down, as it will be 4th and short. So you imagine that they go for it here.
4th and 1 from the 31.
I'd have to say that they'd have to go for it here just because of the fact that, they're dominating the game. They have nothing to worry about it. First quarter's winding down. They're probably just going to let that clock wind down and go into the second feeling pretty comfortable. And this is the part where the teams start to waver and they start to doubt themselves, and that leads to them losing the game. And, you can see the doubt and the frustration in the team and even in the coaches, the frustration that they have. But you have to be lively. You have to be considerate of who you're facing, and just try and correct your faults and fix any problems.
So that will bring us to the second quarter here in Tucson, Arizona. Beautiful weather out here tonight as the Bobcats are up 14-0 early here in this game.
We are farmers.
Yeah, I'd have to say, Jacob, where did you think we were at then? If you're staying in Tucson, Arizona, you know where we're at.
Well, we've been in Vail a lot. We've gone to Marana once. We're going to be going to, we won't be going to Buena, but we've been in different places here throughout this incredible Bobcat season. As Joyner on 4th and 1 are in that offensive formation with 1 receiver to the right, and you got to be expecting a run here from
no doubt.
from power rusher Thomas Webb. Eli Galvan in motion. Joyner will take it himself and will definitely get the first down and more.
First down on the quarterback keeper.
So he gets to the 33-yard line or 27-yard line.
This is just sad to see that a team is crumbling apart so fast, so quickly, and they just can't stop it. And this is the sad part when you look at the teams that they face. They can't stop Cienega, and it is very apparent here.
Yep, the one time that they stopped Cienega was in 2015. And last year, the Bobcats beat these Cougars by a score of 20-3. Joyner scrambles out of the pocket and to the left side, pushed out of bounds. So definitely a first down there and a flag on the play. And a holding call on the Bobcats, which will back them up 5 yards. And Cienega has got the majority of those penalties here early, but it hasn't hindered them much, putting up 14 in their 2 drives on offense.
And you know what the bad part to see right here is that they have made plenty of mistakes, but with such amazing skill and athleticism, they're able to dominate this game. And it is apparent right here because they've had bad snaps, bad passes, and yet they're 14-0 right now. That is bad to see from Sahuaro because they can't stop the Bobcats.
Well, Cienega isn't for sure playing the South Point team that we saw last week. A little bit of a less talented team and a less bigger physical-wise team, because the tallest guy on this Cougars is 6'4". That's 2 inches shorter than my co-worker here, McVeigh Butler.
Yes, it's not co-worker, but it's I prefer co-host. But yes, that's pretty sad to see, and not a lot of build that these guys have either. I don't see anything that strikes me as strength.
Joyner rolling to the right has Hayward, and he brings it in for a touchdown.
And right there, that is just sad to see. Everyone in this stadium knows where that ball is going. It is clear as daylight, and they seem not to be able to see it. It's just ludicrous to see that the players cannot see a clear pass to a wide open receiver who beat his man.
And that will increase the lead to 20. And Hayward, he lacks his physical aspects as a wide receiver, but he's got to play somewhere in the next step of his career at the college level.
Yes, he'll definitely go somewhere.
So 21-0 after the PJ Coco extra point, and the Bobcats are dominating here early into the second quarter.
Sahuaro's next game will be Friday, October 13th. That's next Friday against the Mountain Lions.
Sahuaro's next game will be Friday, October 13th against the Mountain Lions.
And it's pretty sad to see that the announcer is announcing this in the second quarter. We're nowhere near the end, and he's announcing it. I think it's just a sign that even the announcer,
the public address announcer.
He
said that?
Yeah, he said that.
Oh, okay.
And that just shows me that they're ready to move on from this one. They can just see the frustration on fans' faces, the team's face, and
Well, we know for sure that won't be an easy one either next week against the Mountain Lions.
No, it won't. But you know what? Sometimes you just want to forget about a loss like this, which you can already see. It's not a loss yet, but from the way it's looking and the way they've been moving, they've already given up.
Coco ready to kick.
Coco.
And will do. And it is to the middle of the field, and it is Travion.
And that's not a bad kick at all from Coca-Cola. I like it. It's definitely a decent kick. You're getting it to about the 20 to 25 yard line. That's where you want to get them, because you give them the chance to start from there. When you get into those 30s areas, you're endangering yourself, because in NFL and in college, that is like a death sentence, because you're giving them those extra 10 yards that they want to get that touchdown.
So the Cougars will start their offense from the 27-yard line, and they're looking to put points on the board for their first time here tonight.
And it's very possible, because they have a runner that can break free, it seems like, almost any time he feels like it.
QB keeper on the play, and he gets into the secondary with some space before he is tackled by number 15, Luis Morales.
And the statues have broken from their seal. They are now cheering for their team finally. The kind of life that they need for their players, they're giving it to them now. And honestly, the team seems a little bit more restless now. Everybody wants to get out there and do something. And that's good to see from the Sahuaro team. It shows that they have life and energy.
We have plenty of space up here on the Sahuaro side. Not many, very scattered throughout these seating areas. As there's not much of a show up here tonight.
No, there's not. But, honestly, a lot of these people over here on this side, I would have to say, about a quarter of them are from Cienega.
Yeah, I see that too.
And that's a little sad to see. You can see a lot of parents that are the ones that are frustrated, and a lot of classmates that are just taking it as a whatever.
This program needs a revamp.
It needs a rebuild.
Rebuild.
It needs a rebuild. Right now, it's like like a skeleton, missing all the bones. It's nothing.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Because right now, you only have one engine that's rolling, and the rest is shot. You're not going to be able to run as a whole team. You just have one that's trying to do it. And, the frustration that Amon-Ra must have is probably immense.
So there was Amon-Ra there on the run.
And honestly, when I first heard the name Amon-Ra, I thought back to The Mummy. You ever seen that movie?
Have not.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Should I?
You absolutely need to go buy that movie and rent it, do something. But you need to see that movie. But, back to the game, Amon-Ra is an amazing player, and I feel like he's going to get them at least one touchdown by the end of the night. At least one touchdown, because he has to will this team. And I feel like he's going to be able to do it.
So here is Bell rushing out of the pocket, and he will get a positive gain there on the play as he is rushed out of bounds by a gang of Cienega defenders, Rodney Rogers, Luis Morales.
And you can see right there the flexibility that he has as a quarterback. I didn't think he really had it, but he has it. He's able to curve around and, really feel how much distance he needs to run to get away from those tight ends that are trying to close out on him.
So it's 3rd and 10 from the 28 as the Cougars are looking to get past the sticks to keep this offense going. They want to score here, and it was a letdown to not score on that first drive. They had the offense moving before that Thomas Webb interception. Pressure was felt by Bell, and he has to throw the ball to the floor. No intentional grounding. Players were in the area, and there will be a timeout. So 21-0 on 4th and 12 for the Cougars, as they will give the ball a boot. And it is number...
And I'm predicting right here that they're going to be rushed, and that kick is going to be wayward and go off to the sidelines.
I don't think so, but it's number 36, Isaiah Davis here on the kick. Isaiah Davis gets the kick off, and it is Terrell Hayward, the receiver, as it takes a bounce.
Off to the
a
side.
Sahuaro
like
bounce.
Off to the side.
And to the 30-yard line. So, and Hayward let it bounce.
That is frightening. Absolutely frightening to see there, Jacob. Did you see that?
I did not.
Right there, the line rushed so quickly in to get them that it was almost frightening to see, because the kicker barely got it off. One more second, one more step, he would have been out.
Yeah, and especially we see that now. It doesn't really happen at the high school level, but especially at the next levels, those punters have to get it off so fast.
They have to be fast.
There's people that
they have to.
Yeah, there's a lot of fast defenders that come off the edge, and we've seen a lot of blocks. Most notably last year, the Michigan State game when
the Michigan State game.
Yeah. When speaking about that game, there's ABC tomorrow on 4:30 Mountain Time. Michigan versus Michigan State in Michigan State's home house. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit on the call.
Quarterback for Cienega, number 15, Luis Morales.
And it looks like Luis Morales is in at quarterback. As Pat Nugent said, this one is over with. And Devin Garrett there on the run. Why put in Morales this early?
Because you know what? This game is over, and a blind man can see that. you could just see that there's no life at all. No life at all from the crowd. And, the loudest thing in here is probably the band, and they're playing for nothing right now because, lifeless crowd. And on top of that, you have players that are doubting themselves, and you could see they went from moving around and being anxious to, being just.
So Joyner back in, gives a handoff to Garrett, and he goes for an explosive play. And he goes from Cienega's 37 to about Sahuaro's 35-yard line. Great play there from Garrett as he broke through the Sahuaro defense there through the middle.
And you know what? Cienega is no shortage and no doubt has one of the best run games also in the state, in my opinion, just because of how they have multiple positions that can run the ball and players that run multiple positions that can run it in for touchdowns.
And Joyner on the fake handoff keeps it himself. And he will get through the Sahuaro defense for a touchdown, and that will even extend the lead more. And they had 3 defenders there. You have to tackle him there.
I'm going to give you the answer to the solution right here. That is a man amongst boys.
Oh.
He is clawing at them. He is pushing them out of the way. He is tackling them down when they should be tackling him down. That right there is just an amazing athlete who, honestly, I'm yet to see somebody truly stop Jamari Joyner.
So penalties have now hurt the Bobcats, as it will take points off the board. I didn't get the penalty, but those points will come off the board, and they will start from their the Cougars' 35-yard line and take that play back. So going back to what you were saying about the running backs and how they have so many, they have Devin Garrett, Gio Owens, who has done a great job as a junior. They have Thomas Webb, who's a junior. They have a lot of depth in that running game, and 2 juniors that will come back next year and give that running game an even more explosive feel to them. And there is Joyner on 1st and 20 for about a 2-yard gain. And they're even been going with those sweep looks a lot, which have given Hayward running the ball and Rogers running the ball. We've seen that a lot too this year for the Cienega offense. Nathan Amico in there as receiver to our right, and Joyner looking to throw. Has nobody open, will scramble out of the pocket, and he does so successfully. And here he is getting a positive gain for the Bobcats as he scrambles out, and that was a great scramble from him. And definitely a late hit there.
And that is where the frustration comes in. They hit him for no reason right there, just out of pure anger and frustration right there. That right there he should be kicked out of the game because there's no need to do that, especially to a quarterback that is a key to this offense.
And he has a little bit of a limp there coming off the field. Why don't you they should have did that when he was at the 5-yard line here going for the touchdown, not when he's out of bounds.
Well, you know what? At the same time, you know what? Like I said, and I've always said, when you're out there, guys talk to your face, and they try to get into your head. And when they do, it makes you, want to scrap. And you know what? Right there, that's just a prime example of how, one player dominated the game and probably said something to him, frustrated him, and made him act.
So Luis Morales will take over as Jamari Joyner couldn't stay on the field. He limped. Pat Nugent said, nope, come out. Luis Morales in there with Owens and Galvan in the backfield.
And you can tell right there, Nugent is worried about the long term for his team. He's worried about, hey, if you're going to try hurting my player and not play a fair game, then he doesn't need to be out there to try and compete and show you that we're actually trying to still compete with you.
Morales. Hand off to Owens. Owens will get a gain up the middle and goes for about 12 yards there on the play.
And we have a guy down right there. I think I saw what happened there. He kind of got swung down a little bit, but at the same time, people were landing around his ankle area and his leg area. Period. And I think he got hurt right there pretty bad. It looked pretty bad.
And here goes that busy Kyle Bowen, the sports trainer for the Bobcats. He does a great job with the Cienega Bobcats sports teams and what he does to train them and get them to full health when they are injured. So it looks like it is number 53. Mason Grant. 52, Dante Bodie.
Oh, yes.
And that's a loss that are going to the bench.
And that right there is just a pure play of just somebody that they're trying to hurt right now. And that's not football right there. They're intentionally hurting players. And you can just see it because they're frustrated with the score. This is one of the only teams I've ever seen that would act upon their anger. It's such a matter of where they're hurting players, and physically diminishing to them. And this is a game they have to respect. The fact that you're losing right now.
Owens in there on the run for the Bobcats. As we saw, trying to get there, was getting CM back in there. The injury is not too serious. And there was three rushing touchdowns there for the Bobcats, two from Thomas Webb Jr. And there's one from the junior, Gio Owens. And we talk about that running game. Two receivers have two rushing touchdowns.
And I would have to say that with the run game right now, they're dominating in it even more so than their elite runner that they have, gaining 8.2 yards per carry. And right there, it just shows that the more kickers that you have, the more runners that you have, the more running capability that you have. When you have one that you depend on, they target him and they know how to stop you.
I think you got distracted there by the extra point from PJ Coco, which will extend the lead
and from
28 to 0.
Coca-Cola is doing amazing right here. I honestly have to say I'm loving the kicking. Looking like Ezra out there. He hasn't missed yet. This is my first personal time seeing him out on the field from a commentating spot, and I'm liking what I'm seeing.
So we go back to Gio Owens and that 1 yard touchdown run we had. So we know Sahuaro's runner, Amin Ra, averages 8.3. Gio Owens averages 13.8 yards a carry.
And that right there just shows you the difference between, but that's the thing though. They have him and they also have Jamari that can run. They have, I've even seen Terrell show off his running ability. Rodney Rogers has an amazing running ability, being a track star. And those kind of people that can run the ball, it's one thing to have one amazing runner, but it's another thing to have plenty people that can run that ball for you, because you know what? They're also receivers. So if they catch it, they can take off, just like a running back.
Coco on the kick, and it is a short one.
Oh, Coca-Cola, come on.
And pretty good return there from the Cougar. Could not see who it was there, as he will bring the Cougars and their offense up to the 31-yard line.
And, Coke right there is not doing what, he needs to do right there to kick that ball far enough, because, like I said, the 30 to 35 area is that red zone of where you do not want to kick it. Just because you're giving them 10 to 15 yards of extra room that they do not need, because you're making it easier for them to get down the field. Being only about 15 yards away from getting into your red zone, that should not be happening.
So Kobe Bell and his offense will come back out here, as they will again try and put points up on the board.
You know what? I want to see Kobe get that Mamba mentality for football. I need to see him, explode and, just dial in as a quarterback.
It's spelled a little bit different, Kobi for this Kobe Bell. And there's Amin Ra on the carry.
And right there, They shuffled their feet so beautifully. Cienega defense knows how to stop them and make sure they gain minimal yards on per possession. They know who the target is. It is Amon Ra, and he is producing very low this game because they are targeting him.
2nd down 8.
So 2nd and 8 for the Cougars.
And that's one thing I've always admired about Cienega football. They never try targeting you physically. They target you mentally.
Well, if you got targeted physically, you know they'd get the yelling from Pat Nugent and those coordinators.
Exactly.
I was on the field last week on the Cienega sideline with those coordinators. They do not tolerate things like that.
They do not, and you can't, because you know what, you're risking yards. You know, you're giving them that because you know what, when it comes playoff time, everybody is fighting and clawing and becoming an elite team. Everybody that makes the playoffs is an elite team that is deserving to be there. And they're trying to prepare for those type of moments, and fooling around like that, causing them to gain yards, is just ruining the game.
So the penalty there will back up the Cougars 5 as it will bring up 2nd and 13. 2 runners in the backfield for Kobe Bell as there is a receiver in motion. And a handoff to Amon Ra. He'll be tackled quickly by a gang of defenders. And there's Zach Mattis there on the play. As it will bring up a loss for the Cougars. So 3rd and
Carry by the Cougars.
13.
Gotti, Amon Ra.
They need to break out of that 3rd down and get a 1st down. They want to put up points on the board. They have to stop getting to these 3rd down situations, these long 3rd down.
And their main thing that they need to shoot for is score big. They need to get down the field big, because then it pressures the defense. Because right now they're relaxing. They're just chilling. They're doing whatever they barely need to do to barely make it by.
Bell rolls to his left, and it is incomplete.
And right there, number 84, and that would be...
Brings up 4th down.
Jacob, can you tell me who number 84 is?
84 for the Cougars is Sean Klein, the wide receiver.
Kobe, right there. He saw him, and he was almost wide open. And they know that Kobe cannot throw the ball at far distances. That was only about a 20 to maybe 30-yard throw at max. You know, a quarterback that can throw, that is our main attribute as a quarterback. And right there, you're giving up yards because you can't throw.
So the Cougars are showing punt here on 4th and 13, and it's number 36.
Right here. It's a stop.
Isaiah Davis. And he drops the ball, but he will still get it off, and it is Terrell Hayward who will receive it. And he is out of bounds into
Return by the Bobcats.
their field, the Sahuaro side of the field, as they're up 28-0. So good return there for Terrell Hayward. Ball is on the 42-yard line of the Cougar side of the field for the Cienega offense. So Joyner in at quarterback with Amico in the backfield. We've seen him run here this season with the Bobcats, and that he does so now. Good stiff arm there from Amico as he will get about 5 on the play, and he just took down that defender with his arm.
And that's the kind of strength that a football player should have. I remember seeing Gio take down somebody with the straightest, hardest stiff arm I have ever seen. That player did a 360 in midair. Absolutely incredible. He did 2 backflips before he hit the ground. And that is the kind of strength that these football players have. And right there, you need to be careful and watch the strength that they have.
Was that the first game of the season?
No. This was freshman year.
Oh, freshman year.
Freshman year. And honestly, I've never seen anything like it ever again.
You sure it wasn't a 270?
No. I'm almost. I mean, he did so many backflips. I just couldn't believe it myself. He looked like he was going to be on Ridiculousness with Rob Deerdeck.
Was he?
He was. He did a scorpion.
So 3rd and 5 here for the Bobcats. Joyner and Rogers, Hayward, receivers here. Amico in the backfield. Hayward in motion. Will become another receiver to that right side. Joyner will throw, and there is a wide open Rodney Rogers, but it is not a great throw from Joyner. He has his hands on his head, knowing that wasn't a great throw from him.
And you know what? He knows that was a touchdown play, a highlight reel play, and he couldn't finish it. He couldn't complete it. He couldn't do it. And, you know, that's a disappointment right there. But I'm pretty positive he'll get another shot at it.
So that will bring up 4th down. Terrell Hayward already in this game has 3 catches for 129 yards and a touchdown. And he had that 31-yard touchdown. And then Joyner is 4 for 9 passing with 136 yards and 1 touchdown himself throwing. And here is Joyner, and he goes on 4th down, and it is complete. And he is complete, the referee says, to Terrell Huggins, which will bring up 1st down for them.
Reception, number 20, Terrell Huggins.
So from the 26-yard line, the Bobcats move the sticks on 4th down.
And this is just an abysmal performance by Sahuaro. Totally giving up, you know, just fighting with pure anger and not performing.
Rogers in motion. Joyner over the middle to Terrell Hayward, who uses his receiving ability to bring in the ball there for a 2nd touchdown for Terrell Hayward there. And that will increase the lead to 34. A great catch there from Terrell Hayward. Great throw there from Jamari Joyner. The dynamic duo that we've seen throughout this season and last season that has very much impacted the Cienega offense.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm seeing that a lot from them. I'm seeing how, you know, Jamari, honestly, that should have been to Rodney. Rodney should have got that touchdown, but right there, it's okay. They got it back with Terrell.
And Coco on for the extra kick. Why should that have been to Rodney? Was he open there on that play also?
Well, you know, it should have been Rodney because, you know what, he ran right there, and that was just a bad pass by Jamari. It was a mistake, but, you know what, I'm pretty positive that they got those points back, and it was well worth it in the end because, you know, they didn't lose anything. And, you know, every player knows that they're going to get their shot to get a touchdown. They're going to get their moment to shine, and that's one thing you got to love with Cienega ball players.
So 35-0 with 4 minutes and 12 seconds remaining in the second period. And at this pace, Cienega is looking to put up 70.
Yeah, you know, it's not looking very good right here. But you know what? They're going to calm down a little bit. They're not going to be trying to attack and be as tenacious. The only way that they'd be that tenacious is if the Sahuaro team provokes them in any shape, way, or manner that invokes them to have to take action. And I don't think that they'll have to do that. But you know, seeing from the aggressiveness that Sahuaro showed with their anger towards Jamari and another player, it's just, you know, it's just not a good case right now for Sahuaro.
Coco gives no one a chance there, and there is a flag.
And Coca-Cola is doing an amazing job tonight. I got to give him some
Not
credit.
on that kick.
Well, no, but on field goal attempts, and he has had some pretty good kickoffs. And I think just a little bit of wavering right there. I'd have to say that Ezra is a little bit more of an accurate kicker, but Coca-Cola is showing that he can do the job too.
He's a reliable backup.
He is a reliable backup, and there's nothing like having a reliable backup that you can count on in certain manners of ways. But you know what, honestly, I wouldn't consider him to be like a true backup only because Ezra only got moved down just because he went to Mexico. You know, it's not like he earned that situation or earned that spot. But, you know, Coca-Cola's doing a good job. He's trying to show the team that he can provide as a kicker just as well, if not better, than Ezra.
Bell looking to throw, and it is a short throw, incomplete, intended receiver, Amir Hunter Huggins.
Incomplete pass, 2nd and 10.
And Bell there, not a good throw. Should have been at least 5 yards there. You got to hit that man when he comes back for the when that receiver's in that route.
Yeah, you have to attack almost immediately, simultaneously. Jacob, do you understand that? Good.
Now I understand. Kobe Bell.
Kobe.
Amon Ra in motion, and it is another
Incomplete pass.
terrible pass there from Kobe Bell that should have got into the hands of Amon Ra, and we know his running ability.
We know his running ability, but with Kobe, he is not acting like Kobe. He is acting like a different type of player that I have never seen from a quarterback position. I am seeing a lot of flaws in his throwing game, and they're going to have to rethink that position because you're not giving yourself enough options at that throwing game. Throwing game is 70%, in my opinion, of the battle because it gets you down the field in tough positions to make plays. And if you can't throw the ball and you depend on your run game, you have to have an amazing runner. Amon Ra is one, but he is not an elite runner.
The Cougars need 10 on 3rd down, with one receiver to each side of Bell. Amon Ra in motion. Kobe will fake to Amon Ra and run. And it is a good run there from Bell as he gets past the 1st down and will break out of that 3rd down shell. They got a 1st down.
That is pretty good, but you know what? To be honest, the only way that I can honestly see them utilizing their run game to their ultimate maximum potential for Amon Ra will probably have to be a pitch play and some intense blocking, but they do not have the blockers needed to block properly to make sure that Cienega doesn't take advantage of that weakness. They're striking at their weakness, and Amon Ra is an amazing runner. Jacob, what do you think?
I think that they're going to have to start utilizing that run game in a better way. Okay, they're trying to pass here. It's not working. Okay, the coaches have to realize Kobe Bell, he's not a passer.
Oh,
He's Mr. Handoff man. And Bell here looking to throw, rolling to his right. He's Mr. Handoff man.
And you know what? That's kind of terrible to be a quarterback that's just handing off the ball. That's just a positionless player. You can't put him anywhere. It doesn't seem like he's an elite runner. It doesn't seem like he can block. He's not physically gifted. And, in all these areas, he's just a flawed quarterback. And right there, you just got to see that the coaches have to make the decision to find another, quarterback. But right here, deep in the season, you have to be very lucky to find a quarterback. I would think that they would probably try moving up a better quarterback, maybe possibly in the JV and freshman area.
So 3:31 to go here in the second, as the Bobcats are up 35-0.
Yeah, and I'm seeing a lot of not so much effort here by the team. I'm seeing a lot of them, giving up on themselves and giving up on the plays and not doing what they need to do to be successful. Jacob?
I'd have to agree with you. They just haven't. It hasn't been working for them. So they need to start. The offensive line has to start clicking here, and Amon Ra stop the screen passes, hand it off to him because we saw him in that first drive. He did well. They need to do those same plays that they did in that first drive. Hand it off to Amon Ra. He's a great runner.
And, honestly, I got to say that the pitch play is where it lies for Amon Ra because the pitch play allows him to block, and at the same time, it gives him enough room to find a gap in the opening and give him a clear path to run all the way and give him the maximum potential to get full yardage on there. He wouldn't be averaging 8. He'd be averaging 13 or possibly 15 with that capability. But blocking is a huge part of football, and if you don't have the proper blockers, you're not going to be able to be successful as a runner or as a team. And for a team that utilizes it at its maximum potential, you have to say, how are we going to possibly utilize it to its maximum potential? Jacob, what do you have to say about that?
I have nothing to say about that. That was spot on.
It was. It definitely was.
So 2 receivers to each side of Bell, as we might be seeing a pass here.
Well, I would have to say Kobe is out of
Oh, that
line.
is not Kobe Bell in that quarterback. It is a throwing receiver, and the fans here are very happy to see a throwing quarterback in there. And a complete pass over the middle to number 15, Damian Wright.
He was so happy he ended up walking to the out of bounds and running and kind of giddy-upping, if I'd have to say what it was. That's better to see that from a quarterback. That's a little bit going to give the game a little bit more excitement.
Yeah, for the Sahuaro program. The only one not happy on that play, Kobe Bell. Isaiah Grigsby is the quarterback to a handoff to Amin-Ra, and this is what I'm talking about. That's a good gainage there for Amin-Ra.
And the funny thing is we're only in the second, but it feels with just a smashing and intense feeling of Cienega. It makes you feel like you're in the fourth already.
Does, definitely does.
I thought the game was already over, to be honest with you.
Well, we're 2 minutes and 40 seconds away from halftime, actually. Grigsby. Screen pass to number 13. And he falls down a little bit, but will get back up and get more yards on the play inside the 5-yard line for the Cougars.
And that right there, this run has shown a little bit of light, a little bit of life for the Sahuaro fans and even the players. And nothing better than seeing your team finally have a little bit of success on these drives.
I'm hoping we see a score here for the Cougars to see these fans on this side.
I want
move out
them
of
to
them.
stand up on their feet and support this team and show them that, you know what, we support you and we're trying to give you that extra energy to win this game. There has not been that from the fans. The support level is almost at 10%, in my opinion. It was at 0 with that amazing play by number 8, the replacement quarterback, it looks like.
Number 5?
Number 5, I said that. And that's what you want to see right there. Number 5 is doing an amazing job to, fix it up, and give them a chance.
So from the 4-yard line, it is first down. As Grigsby, as a backup quarterback, will be looking to give the Cougars their first points, and he will take it himself, but will be pummeled by the offensive defensive line. Juan Patron got there first on the defensive line for the Bobcats.
And on that play, he got hit so hard. I didn't think he would wake up from that one. I thought, look at that. He keeps walking to the out of bounds. I think he got hit a little hard on that one.
Juan Patron, he's a big dude.
Oh, he's not that big, but
not height wise, but he's 5'7", 220.
Wow, that is big.
Yep.
But strength and determination. Juan does have that. It would honestly be a tragic turn of events to not get a touchdown here at the end, even though they're so close. They can literally smell the grass of the touchdown of the end zone. And I just want to see them get this touchdown just to give their fans, their players, some life.
You imagine down 35. If they don't get it here, they have to go for it on 4th down. Or maybe you just try and put points on the board. And
try and put points on the board. Their kicker has been consistently practicing on the sideline. They are yet to give him an opportunity to kick the ball and possibly give them some points. Honestly, if I were them, I would try depending on your kicker. Give him the opportunity to get at least 9 points on the board off of just field goal kicking. They could have had it at least 3 times, in my opinion. But, they kind of wavered in their decision-making because of how it was turning out.
So the Cougars will take a timeout make sure everything is right here before they go into this third down play, because they want a touchdown here. As they will try and put a little bit of life into the Cougars and their offense, or the whole team.
Yeah, they're trying to find some kind of way to put life in the team, and they found it in number 5. He is bringing them the life. He's bringing them the power, and you got to give it Grigsby. He's only a sophomore, and that's pretty impressive to see a sophomore come in a big game for them. It's a big game for them, not a big game for Cienega, just because of how dominant Cienega is, and they've shown that they have a spot in the playoffs waiting for them, and that when that time comes, they're going to dominate.
Yeah, and you were talking about that quarterback for next year for this varsity program. I think
Yes.
we see him on the field right there.
I do, but at the same time, there needs to be a little bit more encouragement to be the main choice, and possibly give him that opportunity to, become more dominant as a quarterback and learn.
Third and goal, Cougars from the 5.
But whatever he does, do not learn anything from Kobe.
Right. Different sports.
Different sports.
And, oh, wow. Grigsby is just sacked there for a big loss from Thomas Webb, and we are seeing what he did last week. He's so great on defense. He's so great on offense.
He swiped his arms like he said, yeet. Nope, you don't get to have it at all. 0. No chance. No nothing. Nada. You know what? Right there, that is the kind of attitude that Juan has as a player, and the whole team has a little bit of a swagger. I thought he was going to do a J.R. Smith 3-point prayer. But you know what? Just an amazing play right there.
Thomas?
Yeah, I said that.
So, looks like they won't be going for the field goal here. On 4th and goal, they will be going for it. But there's a flag on the play before this 4th down play starts.
And you know what? Right there, I'm not seeing enough life. Look at that right there. They're being backed up. They're being bullied right now by Cienega. And right now they're bringing upon themselves penalties that are bringing them farther and farther away from scoring.
So the 17 yards away from the goal line, 18 yards away from the goal line. I don't think they've had to play that long the whole game. But Grigsby will fire. And, they're going to throw a flag for defensive pass interference there on Rodney Rogers. I didn't see.
Honestly, I thought that was offensive just because he kind of got in the way of the interception right there and kind of forced his way by pushing the hands away from the defender.
So it is pass interference on Rodney Rogers, which will give the Cougars 4 more chances.
And that right there, I bet you the Cienega line coaches and defensive end coaches are pissed to see that they are letting them, give them these extra chances, these extra shots to score. They want to keep them scoreless. They want to punish them at all costs and make them feel like they are not prepared to be anywhere near Cienega.
Grigsby and the Cougars will try again. 2 in the backfield for the Cougars. Grigsby steps up, throws, and it is complete to number 12, Amir Hunter Huggins.
Oh, no. Oh, no. He said, skeet, ain't no cookies for you today, young man. He just told him, he said, no, I'm getting this touchdown. There is no way you're going to stop me. There is no way you are going to stop me from getting these points. Now, look at that. What did I tell you? Standing. The fans are standing. They're waving their arms, putting them like they just don't care.
Well, I think it's because of the shirts, not because of the score.
Jacob, you know what? Stop ruining the moment for them. They scored finally, and look at that fan support right there. I like that. I want to see that. Okay? I want to see that. I want to see that. I want to see that, you know what, they're trying to give them their best opportunities, and you know what, I'm not seeing it.
McVeigh, please sit down. We were trying to call the game. You will not get a shirt from up here.
Maybe a baseball player is on there. I just want to make sure that they know I want a shirt.
And the extra point is good from number 36, Isaiah Davis, and that will get the Cougars on the board 7-35 with 35 seconds to go in the second period.
If I were Cienega, I would stitch up that wound and strike back. You know what? I would score with that 35 seconds. I would have Jamari Joyner or Luis get that ball with a Hail Mary and give them a touchdown just to make them feel like they cannot beat them. And it is the end of the game right there, making them feel that way from the second half on.
Tonight's attendance estimated at 13,631, estimated by head coach Scott McKee, the fifth grade boy. They must be confused with how many gallons of paint he used this past summer.
And right here, you know, you're going to see him kick it off. And, you know, not that impressive kicking game I've seen lately from either side. I thought that Coca-Cola was doing an amazing job, but of late he has made a couple mistakes with his kicking. There's nothing like seeing Ezra Figueroa out here kicking that ball because he shows, his soccer background when he kicks.
And an onside kick here for the Cougars. They were in a weird formation. They're all huddled up.
I've never seen that before. That was that looked like it should go on YouTube as one of the most foolish plays ever for a kick return right there. It did not look right. It did not look well planned out. Then that's why he brought it out. I said they finally got blood, and right now they're aggressive. They're trying to stop them. If they don't, in my opinion, if they get a touchdown here, it's game. If they don't, then at the same time they're giving them that extra breathing space to feel like, okay, well, you know what, a couple more touchdowns and we're back in it. And I think it's important here to try and get a touchdown.
Joyner with a handoff to Garrett. We'll go up the middle for a good gain. And we're starting to see backup receivers come in. There's Diego Ruby, Connor Hawley, Ethan White, and a timeout from the Bobcats.
He likes spoiling his girlfriend, so we kind of need to tell him. Emma is an angel.
So you think that the Bobcats are trying to score here with 23 seconds to go in this?
I do think they're trying to score because, you know what, a score here, it's like this. Why would they have Jamari Joyner out there on the field if they're not trying to score? They want to score to make them feel like, hey, we're still winning. Remember, right now their judgment is clouded by feeling as if they have a victory on its own just by scoring. They want to make them feel like, hey, this game is far from over and you have a long way to go.
Joyner in the pocket.
Ooh,
Rushed out of the pocket, steps up, throws, and it is a long pass down the middle. And it is tipped.
Almost caught right there. Bunched up. Couldn't even say it right there. See it right there. Amazing defense right there by the Cougars right there. But honestly, it was just a mashup right there. Jamari was getting rushed right there. Nothing you can really do.
Right there.
Yes. Okay, Jacob. Yes. Yes.
From the 38-yard line.
Well, Cienega fans, I hope you guys are enjoying our broadcast. You guys are amazing. From everybody here at Bobcat TV, the fan support that you guys bring helps us and the boys out there.
I know it seems
night.
like we're in the fourth quarter, but we're not. Joyner rolling to his left. And a pass downfield is complete to Rodney Rogers, and he steps away from the defender and is all the way going to get down to inside the 5-yard line.
No, young man. You are not getting that touchdown today. That's what he is trying to tell him today. He's trying to let them know, no, you are not going to get that easy.
So 3 seconds to go from inside the 5-yard line of Sahuaro. The Bobcats are threatening here to put more points up on the board.
There's 3.3 seconds. What are they going to do? They only need a baby run play to get that touchdown, and you know they're going for it. Unless that clock runs down right now, there's no way they're not getting these points. A defensive stop is very unlikely here from the recent plays that the Cougars have done.
It's getting a little chilly here in Tucson, Arizona.
It is getting a little chilly right here. That just means Christmas is coming.
How about a shout out to Laura Bucket, Rocky Lane, Adam Schindler, our Cienega.
The holidays are coming back there.
Yes, you know, all the holidays are coming. That's Hanukkah,
Hanukkah.
Christmas,
Yep.
all of them.
Kwanzaa. Thanksgiving before that. Even
Thanksgiving,
Halloween before that.
Even Halloween, you know, all those amazing. Our producer her birthday is coming up. She's an amazing gal.
Jory Paul, the
always showing an amazing smile.
Jory Paul, the goalkeeper for the varsity soccer team.
She's so embarrassed.
She is red right now, like a tomato. And she would love it on Monday if you came
Join
up
her.
to her and wished her
Rolling
a
to
happy
his right,
birthday.
and it is incomplete, intended for Rodney Rogers, and that will bring us to the half. 35-7, the Bobcats lead in an action-packed first half for the Bobcats.
Her birthday is November 30th, and
You need to stay on task.
well, we are on task. The quarter is ending, and right now it's a blowout, pretty much about. You know, they're showing amazing tenacity here, and Cienega is dominating like we all thought. And I still think and believe that Sahuaro has a shot at getting back into this game. Are we out?
All right, welcome back, Bobcat fans. Getting ready for the second half here. I'm Jacob Greenberg, and I'm McVeigh Butler. A little bit of technical issues before we start here this second half. And PJ Coco is on to kick for the Bobcats as the Cougars will be receiving here.
Well, you know, looking at Coca-Cola right here, I think he's Diet Coke because he's not performing like regular Coke should. Look at that right there, diving down for the ball. That right there is a big mistake right there by the receiving team.
And he had so much space that maybe it's the effects of the real turf, but as a coach, that's just so hard to see. He had so much space to the left side, and he just trips up on himself.
And to be honest, that's unacceptable considering the position that they are in and how they are in dire need of plays like that where they can just run the ball all the way and get a touchdown, making the score even quicker, higher. And remember, they came out of the half scoring. They were the last ones to score, so they have, you know, sort of, you know, the waves right now. Cienega is going to disrupt them, though it seems like they're riled up and ready.
And the Cougars certainly look to score again. As Isaiah Grigsby, the backup,
Grigsby
is on.
And this right here is the dangerous part, like I said before. A bad pass rush can lead into a interception right there. It almost looked like it would be one. But right there, it looked like a safety is always possible when you are that close in your own end zone.
Yeah, and that had a large part to do in the trip up there on the kickoff.
Yes, it does, clearly. And that's just all on the kick return halfback. You know, you can't excuse that kind of thing just because of, you know, this is a time where you strike fresh out of the first quarter. You need something big, and right there, that's a big mistake.
2nd and 9. Handoff goes to the running back, and he gets a good gain on 3rd down. And no, it will be 3rd down now.
Third down and 3.
3rd and 3 from the 15-yard line on Sahuaro's side of the field. They're going from right to left here. Grigsby back in the pocket, throws, and he is just pushed down by number 8, Nathan Amico there, and it will bring up 4th and long. Great job by Nathan Amico. He just breaks through the offensive line there and gets the sack on Grigsby on 3rd and short. The punting squad will come back out and give Terrell Hayward a chance. We saw him return one back in that South Point Catholic game that just about put the game away.
Yep, they had just the right amount of thing to distinguish the Catholics, the South Point Catholics, and that right there came up big. And as you can see, it's coming up big in this. The Lancers, you call them Catholics, so I just went along with it. But bad kick right there. Great field position.
And a good bounce for Sahuaro. But Terrell Hayward, this is where he does well, coming around the edge like that. And more, and a flag comes flying through. Is it just me or the flags are orange?
Yes, I think they may have gotten the wrong colors there. I think they need to go back to Sesame Street just to get those colors right.
I got some insider from a member of the crew, Jillian Summers.
Jill.
They are pink for breast cancer awareness.
They are pink for breast cancer awareness, and what better way to show it than on a football field with at least 1,000 people looking. Would you have to say that so, Jacob?
Right.
Yep. So, great awareness here that they're trying to do. Cancer is such a hard thing to go through, and all we can do is support it, and that's a great way to support it on a football field. But back to the game right there. You can see that you had blockers coming late to defend Terrell, and one of them pushed at least 2 of them way out of commission.
So the Bobcats will be backed up to their own 37-yard line, to their own 45-yard line, with Joyner in at quarterback. Joyner with the handoff to Owens. Owens in the backfield will get tackled for a loss of yards on the play. And will bring up 2nd and long with 15 to go to get the first down.
Number 3, Gio Owens, the ball carrier. Loss of 4 on the play.
Eight minutes, 45 seconds to go here on the 3rd. Throw from Joyner, and it's incomplete. Intended receiver Jerry White.
I think it's funny how even though the players hear that whistle 50 times, they don't understand the play is over. I just think it's it's a little bit concerning to see. I think a little bit one too many hits on that one. Wouldn't you say, Jacob?
Yeah. Did you not? You didn't like that when you were playing on the field?
I didn't like that it was more so like just messing around, and it was it wasn't really doing anything. It was the play is over. That was a hit with some fire and some intention right there.
Well, Joyner there had plenty of time to get to the receiver Jerry White on his first reception of the day. He's the vertical threat wide receiver there.
Yes, he is, and you know what? They have deadly wide receivers, and even worse, they have the deadliest quarterback in the game right now, in my opinion, in high school football, in Jamari Joyner. He is the Cam Newton of high school football.
In the whole country, you'd say? In Arizona.
It definitely in Arizona.
Definitely in southern Arizona.
Definitely even in southern Arizona. I would have to say in Arizona, period, he is the best quarterback. Just because of his amazing running ability that goes along with his, sniper-like throwing ability. And, best of all, he has the mentality of a college level. quarterback. They can make decisions on the fly and makes him a high-level quarterback. I mean, he's going to go play for Arizona.
Yep.
So, them seeing something in him is just another sight to see that he is capable of doing it at a college level.
And he might be the solution to Arizona's QB problems right now.
I would not say that, only because the colleges collect from all around the world, period, and they have some big boys trying to tackle you. So one big hit and your career is over.
And here's a good run here from number 3.
Oh!
The agile, or is that 13? Yeah, number 13, Travion White-Austin.
They tackled him so hard he was still trying to run while he was in air. That is a pretty damn hard hit right there. But you know what? Right there it just shows that, Sahuaro is not giving up, and they're using Amon-Ra to make these kind of plays to keep them in the game and keep them competitive and keep that fire in their eyes.
Players in motion. And a quick handoff to Amon-Ra, and he's quickly taken down by Nathan Amico, which will bring it up 2nd and 10.
Yep, coming up 2nd and 10. Seven minutes left in this half. I mean, Jacob, do you think
in the quarter?
What?
7 minutes left in the quarter, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
that's what I thought.
Grigsby. An incomplete pass intended for number 84, Sean Klein, the 6'1 junior. It'll bring up 3rd and 11. And it is very, very quiet here on the Sahuaro side bench.
It honestly,
bleachers.
it is. But like I said, that's the Cienega effect right there. The effect that makes all people involved on the opposing side feel lifeless. They don't have any fire. They don't have any competitive spirit.
Number 15, Damian Wright becomes a receiver, intended for Travion White-Austin, but it is incomplete.
Well, right there you could see White was not able to get that catch. It wasn't the best of throws, but it was right on point. He should have caught that. That would have been a big catch and could have possibly helped them get even closer to another touchdown, bringing them to 14-35. But right there, that mistake can be fatal in games where you are behind.
Well, I like that kind of play. You're down 28. You try out the risky stuff.
Yeah, and you know what? It's kind of dipping your toes, in cold water. You got to see what you're comfortable with and what you can and cannot do. And, right there, they're just trying to find a good position where they can try new things and at the same time try bringing themselves back in the game without having too much risk.
Grigsby to throw, and a great tackle there from Diego Ruby.
And, he tackled him in midair right there. That was a little bit aggressive to see from Diego Ruby, but, football is an aggressive sport. It is meant to hit, hurt, do whatever you want to the opposing side, whether or not you can or cannot. And right there, he took damage from Diego Ruby.
Grigsby on 1st and 10. 2 receivers to each side of himself. Grigsby down the side and intended receiver, number 13, Travion White-Austin.
And in this game, they have definitely gone above passing yards, including in their attempts to do this, to pass. You can see it's upgraded from 4 and 19 yards to, I would have to say, at least 70 yards and, at least 10 attempts. That's a pretty big upgrade, and that's, they might have a little bit of a low completion rate, but you know what? At this point in time, you have to try new things to try and beat an elite team. Wouldn't you say so, Jacob?
Yeah, I agree with what you said, but I think they're starting to do that because Cienega has that explosive defensive line.
Yes.
And the running game, it works for them sometimes, but mostly not. So
No.
that's why they tried to switch to the passing game. It's worked a few plays here and there, but mostly not. And a handoff goes up the middle for minimal gain. And we'll bring up 3rd and long.
And you know what? You got to believe that it is always possible to go from, 0 to hero. There's always 2 sides to every coin, and that's the same with this game. They started out very, very slow, and they're trying to pick it up here. They're making improvements, and this is what you're pacing for. This is what you're trying to reach. This is what you're trying to go for. Cienega is one of the top schools in its own respective conference, and
Grigsby with the pass, and it is caught by Thomas Webb, the defensive
Complete pass.
safety for the Bobcats, but the referee will say, the linesman will say he was out of bounds. I think he was out of bounds there.
No, he was out of bounds right there. I think he was trying to get his toes to stay in so that way they would count it. But, remember, on top of that, you need to also have control over the ball while you catch it and while you're going down. And I don't think he had enough control to actually let them give it to him.
He definitely wanted it there.
Yes.
And the Cougars need 23 on 3rd.
And you know what's funny about Cienega is that they dominate so much to the point where players, I think, are a little bit more worried about their stats and the way that they look just because they have the capability to worry about that instead of winning.
Grigsby in the pocket will throw deep downfield and to no one except Cienega defenders, and it's Thomas Webb on his 2nd interception, and he is taking it back a good amount. And wow, Thomas Webb, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions on 2 out of 3 sides of the ball tonight.
Yep, and you know what? He got that interception back. He finally, he said, you know what? You're not going to give me that? Fine, I'm going to take it. He threw a terrible pass.
Definitely terrible.
With 3 defenders near him, a safety and 2 defensive ends that caused him to throw a bad pass that got intercepted right there. Just bad judgment by the quarterback, even though they're trying to make improvements very slowly to impact the game with their throwing.
1st and 10 Bobcats from the 36.
I think we're back.
We are back.
So
That's still good.
Looks like Luis Morales is in there for the Cats. He's been in earlier also. And a handoff to Owens. Owens cuts to the left side. And he will get 1st down and more into the secondary and out of bounds.
1st down run, Gio Owens.
And right here you can feel the electric, the power that Cienega has, the force that they're trying to embark on here. And it is infatuating to see this. And just a dominating team that's dominating in every form and facet of the way. You got to believe that this game is over, Jacob. What would you have to say about that with only 5 minutes remaining in the 3rd?
I think the game's over also.
I would have to
Ruby
agree so.
on a sweep. And no gain there on the play. We haven't seen him much run the ball there, and it didn't really work for them on that play.
No, it didn't. But you know what? You got to, prepare and you got to try new things. But I think with Sahuaro, they're endangering themselves of throwing away this game by trying new things. It's worked for partial amount of the time. But you know what? They don't have an experienced quarterback with the proper abilities that'll make him better. And, they just got to do it.
Morales on 1st and 10. To his left. Will step up and throw, and it is Nathan Amico. Incomplete, and that is actually Tanner Hughes, the wide receiver. I haven't seen him much this season.
No, we have not yet seen him make a humongous splash, but I still think that there is time for that to change. With such a dominating team, everybody has time to worry about their own stats, their own statistics, and they try and, get themselves in that leaderboard as, dominant players in Southern Arizona, Tucson, and Arizona period, because this is an elite team with elite status that will make it to the playoffs.
Morales feels pressure, and it is complete to Ethan White. Ethan White is also a vertical threat, and he's also a basketball player on the junior varsity team last season.
Yes, he definitely was a big threat, and you know what? I think the improvements that he makes every single year is what keeps him going and what keeps him as an elite player and somebody you have to watch out for night in and night out.
Agreed. 4-2. Looks like the Bobcat back out their offense.
Yep, I would definitely have to agree. Fourth down and 2. I'm calling it as a long pass. Up. Play is broken up. It looks like a timeout.
So a timeout. Called by Cienega. With 3:10 to go in the third. Cienega is up by demanding 28 points.
And a 28-point lead heading into the fourth. With only 3:10 left in this quarter. You got to believe that this game is way over. And it's been over, it felt like, all throughout the first half. We even felt as if it was the fourth quarter, just a lifeless sight to see from Sahuaro. You can still see the lifelessness. They have yet to have a big splash, a big play that turns their confidence around.
Teams break out of the huddles. Bobcats looking to get past this fourth down here. 2 yards is what they need.
I would love to see Ezra Figueroa kick a 50-yarder. I just want to see if he can even do it.
He's not suited up today, McVeigh.
I know, but
Luis Morales on the run, and it will be close as he hit directly into the stick. I think it might be a little short.
No, he made it.
He made it?
He made it.
They might have to bring
the chain gang.
The chain gang.
Kind of a ironic name that it's a name used for prisoners that are used on the side of the road for work. Same thing here. You're on the sidelines and you're putting in the work.
So they were short. You thought he made it. They were short, and the Sahuaro offense will come onto the field.
And that is a shame right there to lose a possession like that. But you know what? I think they're not too worried about it with the lead that they have. And, they have Jamari out, and that just shows that they're confident in this win. And this is when they start bringing in people that don't play, and they try giving them those shots to, start to contribute. And that is why this team is so excellent this year, because every person has got a shot to go on the field and play.
First and 10 Cougars from their 40-yard line.
First and 10 Cougars from their 40-yard line. Grigsby.
And Grigsby has not done the best of jobs, but he has shown a better job. He's done a better job than Kobe did.
Screen pass to Travion. Travion into space and into Cienega secondary and on his way. Oh, he shouldn't have cut there. You keep going. He's got a lot of speed.
Yeah, but you know what? Right there, that's just a rookie mistake. You can see that the Sahuaro fans or whatever you want to call them are having a hard time believing that he did not go all the way. A little boost of excitement, a little raise in the blood pressure, but in vain, because this Cienega defense will definitely not be able to get past them, it seems like, with these last plays being as the evidence towards that fact. So
a great play there from Travion White Austin. He's in the most of the receiving duties tonight. We've also seen him on kick returns. He's got a lot of agility to him. And there is Amon Ra, who hasn't been able to get it going here in the second half.
Yes, Jacob, I would have to say so myself. Amon Ra has been doing an amazing job, and I didn't realize how small he is. He's a very small player, considering the fact that he's a running back.
5'9".
Considering that, I've seen taller running backs, I definitely would think that he'd be a little bit taller, but I think, that height, gives him that speed.
Pass incomplete there, intended for number 15, Damian Wright. And Grigsby at quarterback, he's done a better job throwing the ball.
Yes, he definitely has done a better job throwing the ball compared to Kobe. Kobe has been sitting on that sideline, keeping the benches warm if they had any. And you know what? I think it's just a factor of, hey, you have not been doing what we need you to do. And it's more so, just limelight to see that Grigsby is doing a better job.
And a flag is on the play.
Who will it be on? Jacob calling it?
It is on Sahuaro? No. It is on Cienega.
And that is a big blow, just considering the fact that they got it down. And how do you figure how Amon Ra has gotten down the field lately? He almost had a touchdown play if he would have kept going, but hesitating, still trying to dodge, juke, trying to be flashy, but in vain. He did not get that touchdown. What do you think they need to do being so close? Because every time they get close, they get pushed back. Either by penalties. I'm sorry, you didn't seem to understand my question. So how do you feel that what they need to do when they get into deep into the end zone? What do you think they need to do to get that touchdown to make it 14-35 instead of 7?
Well, I think they've had the chances, but Grigsby has been thrown some errant passes, some incomplete passes that should have been complete, and the receivers need to run their routes better. Cam Newton would probably make fun of me for saying this, but the routes that they're running haven't, broken this Cienega defense. And Amon Ra breaking away a little bit from the Cienega defense there. And it will give the Cougars a first down. So you're talking about, the question was about in these type of situations, right? Where they're edging to score. What's so funny?
Nothing. One of our co-hosts, I should say, was just said a joke. Sorry about getting off track, but what was the question?
And that will end the third quarter here at Sahuaro Stadium. 35-7 is the score. Same as it was. No scoring there in the third quarter, as we will get to the fourth quarter. And the Cougars are in the Cougar red zone.
Yes, they are in the Cougar red zone right now, and you got to think that is where they want to be, but they have not converted. They have been stopped, and they have been trampled on eventually. And you know what? It's just not helping.
And the shirts are being thrown.
The shirts are being thrown right now. I'm trying to catch one myself.
Why do you want a Cougar shirt?
Why do I want a Cougar shirt? I think eBay or one of these fans would probably pay some money for it. And, your boy needs some money. But the point of this is that, you know what? The game is being dominated very, very much by, opposing people. Put your arm into it. And it's all about, how... it's all about how you go about it and how you can fix these problems, and they have not fixed these problems. You think going into the half the coaches would have told them these problems, but it's still as visible as daylight in this dreary nighttime for the Cougars.
So we did not receive any shirts up here.
Just throw it right there. I didn't get no. I don't get no pants. And, I think that they have a big opportunity here. Their main thing is don't squander it. Do not waste these opportunities to make yourself at least feel like you did something against an elite team.
So here is the sweep on Travion. White Austin is in for the Cougar touchdown. And he will make the Cougars get a little bit closer. He's so good. He's a little bit undersized, but he's fast. He's kind of like Terrell Hayward a little bit.
He is. I think he's a little bit faster just because he's a little bit more lighter on his feet, I think, and he has a little bit more of a physical capability with his legs. Gio sort of has that all full body strength. And right here, I don't think, though, Amon-Ra can handle intense contact.
For the extra point is Isaiah Davis. And it goes right through the middle.
Point after is good. That makes the score
Oh.
25 Sahuaro 14.
So the lead is cut down to 21.
Yes, it is. It is cut down to 21, but you got to believe that it took them a whole quarter to score plus some. That is pretty dangerous right here as we're getting a show from the Sahuaro cheerleaders here, looking like they're doing some Heisman Trophy and some exercising cheerleading. Look at that Heisman. Look at that. Whip it out. Yeet. Skeet. But I'm a little bit concerned with the time and how late they're trying to make a comeback. I think that they will not be able to do it just because of the force. And you know what? If Jamari Joyner comes back on the field, it is over.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's definitely not going to come back. But
No.
it's just for the players, the fans, the coaches to feel a little better there on that touchdown.
Yeah, honestly, I think that they don't want to give them a touchdown, but I think they're just trying to let them have something to make them feel a little bit better about this loss, just because it is not looking very good. Oh,
and
right
they fumble
there.
on the play, and it looks like the Cougars have recovered the ball. So Devin Garrett there tried to fall on it, but was unable as it fell out of his where he landed on, and he was unable to just stay on it there, and the Cougars will recover.
They have to stay on it. They have to get that ball. Once it's kicked up and it hits the ground, you need to corral it. They did not corral it at all in that situation. They let it go. He tried falling on top of it, but he fell apparently in the opposite direction of it, and that's pretty embarrassing to see from a fully trained high school team with high hopes to see that they can't even get a kickoff return right there. But they have an amazing defense, and I'm pretty positive they're going to be able to stop it. Ooh.
Grigsby throws and is right through the hands of Amir Hunter Huggins.
And right there, number 7 of Cienega being a little bit aggressive there on
Terrell
that.
Hayward.
Terrell Hayward being a little bit aggressive over the fact that they got that turnover, and that's what you want to see from your Bobcats, that they're not giving up. It doesn't matter what the score is. It's inexcusable to turn the ball over, and that's why you want to give it back, and that's that fiery attitude that Cienega has always had that other teams lack.
So the Cougars screen pass to number 15, Damian Wright. And
Second by number 15, Damon Wright.
close to a first down there. It'll bring up third and short. Third and one. The ball is on the 16-yard line. Creeping in. They are in the end zone. I mean the red zone.
Yes, Jacob. If you didn't know, they are in the red zone. Right now, it looks like a play action.
And a quarterback keeper there.
And that right there was a play action fake right there. As you can see, they had one man back, setting him up for the fake run, but they decided to corral inside and fall down to get those extra yards to get that first down. They want another touchdown. If they get another touchdown, pressure is on Cienega to stop them. they are too close and have come too far, and they're trying to bring life back into this crowd and bring life back into the stadium. Period. It has been a lackluster and a very boring game, but I think that they will be able to do that.
I think it's been a very fun game.
You do.
Yes. Grigsby, screen pass. And, ooh. And there's a late hit there. That's definitely the right call there. He's already got the knee down, and I couldn't tell who that was.
I think somebody dove down for absolutely no reason on that play.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. What number was it?
I think it was number 74.
Oh, Hunter Schlegel.
Right there, that's inexcusable to give them even more yards. For one, you don't want to hit them intentionally after the play because not only do you give them yards, but you endanger the player. Nobody wants to hurt nobody and cause a injury that could end their season, let alone their career as a football player.
And looks like it is a 15-yard penalty there, which will bring them to the 3-yard line.
And it'll be not that it will happen just because of the way the defense is starting to tighten up, but if they can have 2 more touchdowns to bring them back into this game, it will be the most amazing comeback in football this year so far.
Pitch to Travion. Travion breaks a tackle, but
there is absolutely no gain on that one, if a loss of 1 or 2.
There's a loss.
Just because of the fact that he had to move back to escape a defender, and that was the wrong call right there. The best thing to do, even at that size, is to ram him. Just that way, or juke him out in the direction you need to go in, because when you head back like that, you're giving time for the defense to shift over with you, and that causes those delayed losses that they have been experiencing all game.
So Travion White Austin loses a yard on the play, and will bring up 2nd and 5 from the 5-yard line. And to Travion. And it is in for his 2nd touchdown. Oh, and there's a flag on the play. Looked like some extracurricular activity there with Hunter Schlegel and Travion.
And that right there is inexcusable. You're giving up 2 touchdowns in the last 3 minutes of the game. You have only had 3 minutes of this game, and you have already given them 2 when you have not even given them but 1 in the last minutes of the first half of this game. That is inexcusable, and they need to fix these problems because fans are getting riled up, Jacob, as you can see right there.
So a personal foul on the Bobcats. It looks like there was 2 penalties. Oh, no. 1 penalty for each team. And the penalties offset. And we are back to normal. And it is a touchdown. And Isaiah Davis will try and add to that. Try and get to 21 and make it a 14-point deficit for the Cougars, and then they'll only be 2 touchdowns away.
Yep, pretty much right there.
And it is good from
They definitely
Davis.
have definitely a powerful PAT kicker right there, but honestly, I think he hit it with so much power just so he made sure it would go in. He seemed a little bit nervous right there because they were swarming him like a pack of wolves on a what do wolves hunt?
Wolves hunt. What do wolves hunt? Rabbits?
So I doubt they need very many wolves to catch one rabbit. But right now, swarming right now, you can see the fire that Cienega is putting themselves into right now. The Cienega effect is working in reverse right now. The statues have been created for Cienega now, and life is somewhat still over here at the Sahuaro Stadium. But, you know, you got to believe that Cienega knows what it's going to take to get past it and become even more elite in their names.
So 9:58 to go in the fourth quarter. This one's getting a little bit interesting. It's a little bit boring. And the kick from Davis is short, and receiving it is Huggins on the play. Huggins through the middle and into space, and he will get up to about the 44-yard line for Cienega.
That is 45-yard placement. He is 5 yards away. That is inexcusable to try doing that. That is inexcusable to do that because you are now letting him have that extra space that you do not want to give away. You are therefore giving away the game right there.
So now it's time for the Cienega offense to start. They were kind of playing around a little bit. Now it's time to get to your game, get back to the game plan, and try and get into the end zone again. Rodner's on the fake sweep, but it is into Joyner's hands. Joyner will look like he'll put his way into a first down. I think it is first down there. Yeah, definitely a first down there. And they are now on the Cougars side of the field. Joyner in a no-back set.
What did I say was going to happen? They're going to get Joyner back into this game and end it.
Joyner, incomplete pass intended for Terrell Hayward. Just a flat run out there that Terrell Hayward ran. Joyner scrambling out of the pressure and into space. Only one defender to beat. And he'll just walk his way out of bounds. And it'll bring up 3rd and 5.
Five-yard gain on a quarterback keeper. 3rd down and 5.
The Bobcats need 5 on 3rd. 2 receivers. Receivers are White, Rogers, Hayward, and Huggins. And Joyner is hit on the play, and it is intercepted by number 33, David Piquet. Jamari Joyner just got hit so hard that the ball, you know how the ball kind of just slows down a little bit, and it was intercepted by the linebacker there. He was injured earlier in this play, but the interception there.
Right there, all you can see right there is the fact that he got tackled and it disrupted the throw. He could not make a proper throw, and therefore he threw it to the defender, causing him to lose it. Right there, you know, they're starting to get to this Cienega Bobcat team because right now they're bringing life back into the crowd. They're being excited. They're, you know, the players, they're excited now. They're seeing that they do have an opportunity, and I think the coaches are trying to rev them up even more.
It's time to get going for the Bobcats. It starts now.
It starts now.
So the Cougars will start from the 47-yard line on their own 47-yard line.
And right now, you know, you can hear all the parents, especially the mamas, calling out to their boys, telling them to give them that touchdown.
Grigsby cuts it outside. And a good run there from Grigsby.
Number 73 right there for Sahuaro Cougars. Definitely got hit real hard on that one. Very slow to get up. Took him about 3-4 seconds to get up, and that would be
Kingsley.
Kingsley Ugu.
What country there?
Country there? I think he's from America.
America.
Yes, I think all of us are from America. And I just think that our parents might be from other places.
I know. That's what I was talking about.
Oh, Africa.
Oh, okay. Hand off up the middle for about a 2-yard gain there. And it will get them a first down. Remember how long ago I said they might get 70 points? Cienega hasn't scored since then.
No, they haven't. And you know why, Jacob? Because they have the will, the fire, the passion is all one-sided. Sahuaro is trying to win this game. They are not trying to let them just trample all over them. They gave them that extra inch, and they took that mile.
And it looks like Dante Bodie is injured on the play. That's his second time that the trainer has to come out onto the field to see him. Probably taking a lot of bruises and bumps and hits today.
The one on the ground? Oh, Dante Bodie. Dante? Nah, that nigga just got knocked the fuck out.
So play is getting ready to resume here after the injury of Dante Bodie.
And that was a big hit there for Dante Bodie. You know, you got to feel bad because in every game there is at least 3 players that end up on the ground because they got hit hard or something happened during a play, you know, miscommunication and things just happen like that.
And Travion White Austin.
And that right there is just a pummeling that Amon-Ra is taking.
Yeah, and there's a flag on the play, and there's definitely some extra pushing there from the Cougars. We saw that one pretty easily.
Yes, we did. And you know what? Remember, Amon-Ra is not very big. You know, he's very small.
5'9".
Yes, but when you actually look at him from up here compared to the other players, he looks very small when he runs. I think it's because he takes very long strides, which lowers his center of gravity, making him look a little bit smaller than he actually is.
Flag will take the Cougars back. Unnecessary roughness.
And that right there, that's a team that is trying to come back, making false mistakes like that. That kind of things will ruin the game for you and ruin your comeback chances because you give yourself penalties. You only have 7 minutes left. Why are you trying to do that stuff?
And Grigsby dropped it for a little bit, but picks it back up.
And the punishment that they are taking today is immense. They have been tackled from every direction, all players.
So we'll bring up 3rd and 18 from the 50-yard line, right in the middle of the field.
3rd down, 18, 50-yard line.
A lot of amazing plays by
White Austin. And a little bit of a gain there, but definitely won't get them 18 there.
a lot of amazing plays have been done throughout this game, but none of them have sparkled enough to really name them. But I honestly got to say it is a big turnaround from going from 0-35 to 21-35. That's a pretty big comeback, even with a losing effort. What it seems like today, that is a pretty good thing to say that you were able to score 21 on a team that is what, 6-0?
6-0.
penalties against the Cougars will decline. It'll be fourth down, 15.
Fourth and 15, and the Cougars will go for it with 6 minutes. They don't think they can get the ball back twice, so they will go for it here, and they need 15 yards.
The worst part about these kind of situations is that you need 15 yards, but at the same time, you do not have the throwing capability that you need. Look at that bad pass.
Grigsby, and there is Webb on his third interception of the day. And what a defensive performance by Thomas Webb Jr. The safety.
Honestly, it's not that amazing of a performance, only because the quarterback is throwing it away. He's giving them these interceptions. This is ridiculous, but it is amazing that they have correct player placement on players, and I do commend Thomas for getting these easy interceptions.
No, it's definitely an accomplishment. There's been 3 interceptions from the Bobcats, and they're all Thomas Webb.
Right place, right time.
And that's part of being a player.
That is a part of being a player, taking advantage of the stuff you are given, and he has taken advantage of the stuff he's been given.
So the game ball has to definitely go to Thomas Webb. 2 touchdowns.
It definitely does.
3 interceptions.
Just an all-around performance that even outshines even Jamari Joyner.
Pat Nugent's got himself a ball player right there in Thomas Webb Jr.
He does, but you know what? Jamari is leaving after this year, and he can rest easy knowing that he has Luis as his quarterback and giving him those extra running. He has plenty of run game, so he has a great quarterback and an excellent excellent just runners all around at all positions that can run the football at a high level. Boos here from the crowd here at Sahuaro Stadium. Depressed, upset, and just a lot of anguish on that field. And, you know, as you can see, you know, they're trying to give them support, but at the same time, you know, there has been people leaving. And it's just the point of, you know, how far can you really go with a comeback and how consistent can they be? Jacob, do you think they've been consistent enough to where if they keep it up, they can possibly make a comeback?
Oh, no. No. That interception from Thomas Webb Jr. right there put the game away.
It certainly did.
You can't get mad at Isaiah Grigsby there, okay? It's fourth down. He needed 15 yards. You got to take a risk there. If you feel pressure, take the risk.
He made the right choice in throwing. It's just that Sahuaro as a whole has had bad luck with quarterbacks in making selections. This has made them to where they have the full capability to take over the game just by the interception game, by false quarterback positions, and that is why all that is happening.
Do you know why the Cougars have the ball right now?
I do not. I think it is what we like to call a pity gift. Just because they have no reason to have the ball, they threw it, an interception, or so are they going to take that interception away from Thomas?
Maybe there's a flag on the play or something.
There was no flag. There was
flag?
absolutely no flag on that play. They must have reviewed it for no reason. That's why they were booing. They reviewed it for no reason, and they're trying to make this game a little bit more competitive and keep fans staying in their seats because a lot of them have been leaving.
Second down, 8.
Second and 8 is the Sahuaro offense. Grigsby. And a pass is complete. And will give the Cougars a first down with 5 minutes approaching on the clock.
And they need 2 possessions to win the game.
First down reception.
Or 3 to win the game. 2 more to tie. I think that is too great of an effort to overcome. You have fans starting to flood out, student sections starting to empty. Sahuaro supporters starting to empty out. I think this game is over, Jacob. Too much to overcome with little time left on the clock. There's nothing that you could possibly do in this amount of time. You would need the quickest touchdowns that are possible.
Zach Mattis there on the hit for the quarterback, which makes the ball go incomplete. And we'll bring up 2nd and 10. I'm sorry.
Oh, for what?
Amon Ra in the backfield. And there's a flag before the play starts.
Penalty against the Bobcats.
It is against the Bobcats, which will push the Cougars forward a little bit.
It's amazing to see that only half the cheerleaders also are supporting while the other half are looking at the game in disappointment of their boys. Oh, man. I don't think I've ever seen that happen.
Yeah. Aren't they supposed to be in sync?
They're supposed to be in sync, but there's a couple back and a couple that are turning their shoulder just to wave their pom-poms.
So first down there for the Cougars, and they are at their 9-yard line, looking to put a score into the end zone. Probably going to look for Travion White-Austin to do that for them. And then if they score, they'll probably be doing that onside kick. It was a weird formation there when we saw them do it the first time.
Yes, it was definitely a weird formation for them. It's just them trying to try new stuff. Oh, another
Intercepted by Huggins, and he has room. And he burst into fresh air down the middle into clean grass. And that will about do it, folks, for the Bobcats as they'll go up by even more. Terrell Huggins returns it about 110 yards to the end zone for a Cienega touchdown. Terrell Huggins. Wow.
And right there, Cienega, that just ends the game. Your Bobcats are 7-0 right now. No doubt, no time for them to recover. This game is completely over. There is nothing left for the Sahuaro Cougars to do. This game is over, but at the same time, you just got to think and believe that, Sahuaro tried their best, and that is 21 points they did not have at all at one point when it was 35-0 in the first half.
So like you said, Bobcats will go to 7-0, and they are 17-0 in the regular season the past 2 years, and 17-1 overall. Or no, not 17, 18. 19-1 overall. And that was a huge play there from Terrell Huggins, and you can't really get mad at Xavier Grigsby. That he had 4 attempts all season before this game, and he comes in here, what was it, the second quarter, and he plays the whole rest of the game here for the Cougars.
And at the same time, you have to thank the fact that he actually gave 100% and gave them more attempts than he has attempted this whole season, just so he can give them that extra push, that extra fire, and that extra will. And he definitely has given them that extra will and fire, and that's thanks to him, Grigsby, and Amon Ra. And you have fans that are disappointed with the outcome, leaving, knowing the outcome. There's no reason to stay. You can just see the frustration in their face, and you can even see it in their spirit.
Kick from Coco
And Coco
It
has
is
been
into
doing
the hands
some decent kicking.
of Travion White Austin, who gets a good return on the play and to the 34-yard line.
And, you know, that right there, that's some good stuff by Coke. Coca-Cola's doing some good stuff.
It's Coco.
I've been saying that.
No, okay.
Well, Coco, he's been doing some great things. You know, the backup, that's a pretty dang good backup, wouldn't you say, Jacob?
Yeah, I think he's done well. We haven't seen him miss an extra point this game, and he's done decent on the kickoffs.
Yeah, he has. And you know what? A couple hiccups here and there, but you know what? He's done a good enough job to where you can say it's an admirable effort by him and makes it worthwhile in the end because this is his first game this season where he has actually played the entire game.
Yeah, and at the high school level, it's kind of hard to find a kicker like Coco who can consistently do that.
Yes, it is, but it's even harder to find an elite kicker like Ezra and have another elite kicker like Coco as your backup.
Or even harder to find an elite quarterback like Aaron Aros that we saw last season.
Yes, definitely. Definitely is. But you know what? The Cienega Bobcat team is stacked, and I believe that we're taking state this year. We're going to come into the playoffs ready, you know, to defeat all enemies in sight. And you know what? We've shown great willpower and great grit just to come out in every game with 100% effort. And the coaches know what they're doing. So, you know, there's no doubt in my mind that they know that they have a potential to go farther than almost any Cienega team has.
And a flag on the play. Against the Bobcats. They've had the majority of the penalties here tonight. And it hasn't hindered that much, but it's done a little bit to these Bobcats. And if they're going to want to do well against the more talented teams, they're going to have to clean it up a little bit.
Hang on. And
Grigsby looks to throw, and it is complete to Amin Ra, who is quickly tackled by Rodney Rogers and Diego Rivas. And the clock is ticking. 3 minutes approaching to go here in the fourth quarter.
And it is amazing to see that they have not yet given up. They are not giving up. And that's pretty hard determination by Sahuaro.
Grigsby, sideline throw, and it is incomplete, intended for Amir Hunter Huggins. Amir Hunter Huggins and Travion White Austin have done the majority of the receiving things tonight.
They definitely have. They have been the key milestones in this game, and you know, it is a great performance to see that. And you know, I think that you know in the next couple of games they will improve even more and show that they can do even better and greater things.
And we have leavers, people leaving.
Well, the only reason that they would be leaving is because if the game was out of reach, and this game is out of reach. A 21-point deficit with 2 minutes and 54 seconds on the clock. You would need an NFL pro to save you in this situation, but nowhere in sight does that lie. Wouldn't you say so, Jacob?
I would agree.
Yes, agree.
Which NFL pro?
Well, I'm not a big fan of the Patriots, but I'm pretty positive Tom Brady at any age, 100, 200 can save any team.
And here come the shirts again.
Fourth down and 4.
And throwing shirts again. Oh, that was a hard hit.
And it's complete to Amir Hunter. And he is into the end zone for a touchdown, Cougars.
That was an amazing catch right there. He caught that off the back of his head.
Well, back-to-back Huggins, Terrell Huggins on the interception for the Cougars. Then here's Amir Hunter, for the Bobcats. Here's Amir Hunter Huggins for the reception touchdown for the Cougars.
I think Rodney Rogers was so mad that he caught it over him that he sprinted at him just to stop him from getting a highlight on him. Wouldn't you say, Jacob? It looked like he was running with a purpose right there to stop him.
Yeah, that's what a cornerback never wants to see, a receiver catch over their helmet like that.
It just reminds me of Bryant from the Cowboys when he caught over somebody during the playoffs, and it's one of the highlights of his career. And right there, that should be a highlight of his career. Rodney Rogers is no amateur. He knows what he's doing. He's a great football player, a great athlete. To get a catch like that over him is nothing but exemplary.
Amir Hunter Huggins looking like Calvin Johnson there on that play.
Yes, definitely, absolutely. Like I said, they have not given up in this game. They feel like they still have all the time in the world. Their crowd standing up every time a shirt is going to be passed to them. That is the only time that they stand. But nonetheless, they stand for their team for shirts. But you know what? The support that the fans have to come out here is it's very good to see that from the fans. But you know what? I am so amazed to see the support on the Cienega side. Literally, there has to be at least 300 people over there.
Onside kick for the Cougars, and it is quickly received by the Tanner Hughes of the Bobcats. Unsuccessful onside kick there for the Cougars.
And with that, you got to believe that they're trying to waste that clock. They do not want this to go on any longer. The game is over. There is no reason to keep it going. End it already. This has already been established as a beatdown with a little bit of effort by Sahuaro to make it commendable by them. But there's no reason to keep this game going and keep giving them those extra possessions. Everybody wants to leave. Everybody wants to go home. Just end it.
Joyner with Hayward in motion. We'll give it to Hayward as he becomes a runner. Good gain for him there.
And the cheerleaders are getting wild.
Please don't say it like that.
Oh, I'm very sorry. They're getting, I don't know what other word. They're definitely going with it, and they have their own cheerleading coordinator.
Joyner to Owens.
Trying to get the crowd wild up. But this game is over. With 1:55 on the clock, you got to believe that they're just trying to end the game. Fans are coming out of the stands, ready to leave. This has been a great game by Cienega, a full stop. Demolishing them in the first, but Sahuaro giving themselves breathing room in the second. But fourth quarter, they end it off with an amazing strike.
Timeout on the field with 1 minute and 55 to go in the fourth. Ball on the 43-yard line.
4. Hey, remember, like 3 interceptions. Stats. Hey, you have stats on. Terrell. What did Terrell do this game?
100.
What did Terrell do this game?
So there was Garrett there on the run. They were just trying to wind the clock down. A minute 46 showing now.
And there is still some dedicated fans out here that are still staying and watching their team, even though they know that it is over. That is something that you like to see from your supporting group, your supporting cast. And it's kind of humbling to also see that Cienega also has all their fans here that can possibly come. I know it would be more if they could, but we have a great system over there, and everybody over there.
Joyner breaks through for a touchdown, and a 36-yard touchdown for Jamari Joyner. So he put the second needle in the coffin.
It almost seems
nail
like,
in the coffin, and there's a flag on the play.
Like the band is playing for Cienega here, because every time they score, they start playing. They start getting down.
Sportsmanship.
Sportsmanship, I guess, but they're it seems like they're even louder when their team scores. But amazing play right there. 48-28. Game over. 20-point lead. This extra point will seal the deal. Nail in the coffin. End the game. But it seems like they feel like that play was wrong. Like that shouldn't have happened. And that's just bizarre to see such a thing happen consistently for the Sahuaro Cougars.
Yeah, this coffin is definitely sealed, man.
Oh yeah, sealed, tight. Ain't nothing gonna come out there. Nope, closed.
Coco, and it is good. He is 7 for 7 today on
And
PATs.
that is a pretty amazing sight to see right there. 7 for 7, that is pretty accurate. 100% field goal kicking right there. You know, for a backup kicker, he'd be a starting kicker on any other team consistently throughout the year. No doubt in my mind that Cokes is definitely showing what he can do out here.
So 49-28 is the score. Shirts.
Hey, I know you can't throw that far, but at least walk one up here. And this game has felt like eternity with how long it has been going on, just because of the fact that Cienega squashed them to ribbons, and there is nothing left of this team except their own pride to keep going.
And minute 38 is on the clock for the kickoff. And it is up. Grounded and into the hands of number 10. That's the first we've seen him tonight, number 10.
And
Jordan Bunting.
That wasn't that bad right there. That was a pretty decent play just because he was able to dive through and kind of just scrape through the D. That was pretty good. And I think right now at the end of the game, it's all about reps. Who hasn't played, go out there, get some time in, get comfortable, see what you can do. And, I think coaches will evaluate it. Cienega's had their first, second, third, and even fourth string players out there playing. And that's what they love this year is the dedication to getting everybody out there with the quickness to score.
And that's the great thing about having a good team. You get your team up by so much that you're able to put in the backups in like that. Grigsby, long throw, and it is intercepted by Thomas Webb. 4 interceptions for number 4, Thomas Webb Jr.
4 interceptions for number 4. I like it, Jacob. I like it. He is being tenacious today. He is trying to grab everything that he possibly can. And you know what? They're giving it to him. Why not just take it? He's earned it. He has had an amazing day. 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. What's better than that? He is definitely the MVP of this game. I am yet to see a performance where a player does it on both sides like he just did right now today. Very impressive performance from Thomas Webb.
A minute 14, and Bobcats in the kneeling formation.
And you know what that means?
Boom.
That's the old, we're done. We don't want to do this no more. Let's just kneel down and get it over with.
Start the clock now.
Now the clock is rolling down. This has been an amazing game to see just because of the effort at the end that Sahuaro put to make it an entertaining game, turning a 35-0 lead into a 21-35 at one point in this game. That is a huge turnaround. Even though they came back with multiple touchdowns, you got to just commend the fact that they were not ready to give up until the end.
So about one more kneel down for Jamari Joyner will do it. And that does it. The Bobcats win by a score of 49-28. They win by 21 points, equivalent to 3 touchdowns.
And that is pretty amazing to see. Now they're going to shake hands, be respectful, and respect the fact that they lost. Take it with pride, and Cienega is going to be respectfully accepting their win. And, you just gotta wonder, how is it that they can pull this off every single time they step on the field? Come in with a tenacious, killer instincts. But in this game, this is the first time I've seen a team strike back like they did.
And the Bobcats will play Buena next week at Buena in Sierra Vista, Arizona. And remember Buena, they went 0-10 last season. But they had that freshman quarterback last season that showed a little bit of hope. So he's a sophomore now, and they broke out of that not winning thing, and I can't remember how many wins they have on this season, but they definitely have at least 2 wins this season. So they're a better ball club this season than last season.
Yes, you gotta just marvel at the fact that they have made some improvements. Improving themselves is the first step to becoming an elite team, and improving with your coaching experience is something the coaches have always prided themselves on doing every single year. And player improvement is a big part of becoming successful immediately, and that's what they have started to do. The rebuild is almost over for Buena, and it is admirable to see that. And what do you have to say, Jacob?
Great game from the Bobcats. Great game that the Cougars gave to these Bobcats. And we will get some post-game interviews here in a little bit. And as the Cienega chant is over, they will get the last message from the coach, and then we'll get some interviews here. So the Bobcats were up 35-0 at one point, and the game ended at 49 to, what was it, 28? 49-28. So stay tuned for these post-game interviews.
These are mine. You're good, you're good. I don't care. Hey, Bobcat TV, I am here with Thomas Webb, number 4, and you have made, just a little quick review, you made 2 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. How did it feel to make the first touchdown of the game?
It was good, it really set the tone for the rest of the game, and I just saw the opening, props to the O-line, they made a big hole for me to make that play, so yeah.
How did it feel to win against one of your rivalries once again to go down in the books?
It felt great, they always give us a big battle. The twos kind of was a little bit shaky there, but we put the ones back in to seal the deal, but they always put up a good matchup, and props to Sahuaro and their players.
Do you feel like it was good competition tonight? Because they were, towards the end of the game, they were, inching towards you in points, and then you guys made it to 48.
Yeah, most definitely. They had a great job of not giving up and not stopping, and, really made us work to the end, so yeah.
Well, good job out there, Thomas. Thank you for the interview.
Thanks, guys. I'm down here on the field with Terrell Huggins. He is a senior on the Cienega team. Terrell, you had an incredible touchdown tonight that blew everyone away, everyone on both sides of the field. It was a 100-plus yard interception in the other end zone. This shut the door for the entire game for everybody, and it pushed Cienega into that upper hand. How does it feel knowing that you created that last push for Cienega?
It feels good, but I can't take all the credit. My team, lineman getting a push on the quarterback, making him rush a throw. It's not all mine.
That's great. And what were your thoughts in your head, as you were running that ball all the way down to your end zone?
As soon as I caught it, I saw a hole. I said, one move and I'm gone. I made one move, cut back up the middle, and I was gone. Nobody's catching me.
That's awesome. And what do you want to improve on before next week's game against Buena?
Reads. My reads in the backfield, reading the run, pass, play action. It's getting better on reads.
Well, good luck next week. We did a great job tonight. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys. And from all of us here at Bobcat TV, thank you so much for listening to our broadcast tonight. We'll see you next week.